Starting with the billionaire, I can become stronger by spending money. There is a system that can make you stronger by spending money, isn't he it cool? When Chu Yi unlocked the godly rich system at the beginning and could unlock rewards by spending money, he found that it was so cool. You are more handsome than me. Excuse me, I become more handsome by spending money. You are more powerful than me? Excuse me, I become stronger by spending money. Are you a second generation rich? Excuse me, I am a first generation rich. So, Chu Yi relied on the trillions of assets given by the system. After spending, he became the male god of the whole nation. After spending, he became the richest man in the world. After spending, he reached the peak of martial arts. Chapter 1, Small Goal, Spend 1 million first. The Chu Yi Group owes 40 billion and is on the verge of bankruptcy. This news spread like wildfire across the state city. 40 billion? Under the sunlight, a handsome young man with a slightly melancholic gaze slowly looked up at the sky. The reality might be even worse than the rumors. If the Chu Yi Group can't pay back the money in half a month, bankruptcy liquidation procedures will begin immediately. By then, it would mean the ruin of the family. Time is running out. Chu Yi, the young master of the Chu Yi Group. At this moment, he was walking through the most luxurious aristocratic school campus in the state city. From time to time, murmurs could be heard around him. Look, that's Chu Yi, the young master of Chu Yi Group. It's really the young master of Chu Yi Group. I finally saw him in person. Chu Yi is so handsome. What good is being handsome now? The company is going bankrupt. Chu Yi Group is going bankrupt soon. He won't be proud much longer, and soon he'll be even more of a failure. Failure? Am I really a failure? It seems so. Ever since the news of Chu Yi Group's bankruptcy spread, he has experienced the harshness of the world. His luxury cars were sold. His house was seized. His girlfriend betrayed him. His friends turned their backs on him. Strangers gave him scornful looks and ridicule. The once envied young master of the Chu Yi Group seemed to have turned into a street rat overnight, with people avoiding him at all costs. Some even went so far as to stomp on him. The world is indeed so cold. At the cafeteria entrance, Chu Yi's handsome face, with a touch of melancholy, slowly turned toward the sky. Even the sunlight today seems a little too glaring. Har har, har har har. Who is this? Look, who is this? Come over here and take a look. As Chu Yi entered the cafeteria, a mocking voice suddenly rang out. Isn't this our Chu young master? Weren't you arrogant before? Weren't you all proud? Why can't you be arrogant now? Why can't you be proud? I know, because Chu Yi Group is going bankrupt soon. You've probably become a penniless pauper by now. In a few days, you probably won't even be able to afford boiled cabbage, right? Har har har. With that triumphant laugh, a plump guy with an arrogant expression blocked Chu Yi's path, drawing the attention of everyone in the cafeteria. Many of the onlookers had a touch of gloating in their eyes when they looked at Chu Yi. They all knew the mocking voice was right. Wang Long. Chu Yi, hands in his pockets, squinted his deep-set eyes. The guy blocking his path was once his subordinate. His family ran a few clothing stores, barely enough to qualify for an aristocratic school. Back then, this guy would follow him around like a sycophant, calling him big brother, even more affectionate than calling him father. Who would have thought? Once the Chu Yi Group ran into trouble, this guy jumped out, eager to step on him. What do you want to do? Chu Yi raised an eyebrow, not paying much attention. After being the boss of Wang Long for a few years, he still had some backbone. What do I want to do? How dare you talk to me like this? Wang Long, furious at Chu Yi's cold and disdainful expression, gritted his teeth and said, Chu Yi, do you still think you're the young master of Chu Yi Group? Do you know who you've offended? Get on your knees and call me Long Ji Big Brother Long. Today, I can let you off the hook just once. Looks like this fat guy is deliberately trying to stir up trouble. A cold smile appeared on Chu Yi's jade-like face as he pulled out his right hand from his pocket, slowly pointing it at Wang Long's chest as he spoke. I'll give you a few words. What words? Wang Long sneered. Brother Wu Yan. Scram? You? Chu Yi, do you still think you're the young master of Chu Yi Group? How dare you act arrogantly toward Big Brother Long? Well, today you better not blame me for being rude. Hold him down, you sons of bitches. Wang Long was immediately enraged, his face red with fury. For years, he had been kissing up to Chu Yi. Finally, he saw an opportunity to act arrogantly in front of Chu Yi, only to be met with Chu Yi's disdain and indifference. Bring it over. Today, I'll show you what Big Brother Long is capable of. Wang Long gestured behind him, and one of his men brought over a tray, on which were 30 or so chicken legs. Chu Yi, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Today, either kneel and kowtow, calling me Long Ji, or Wang Long picked up a chicken leg, a cold smirk on his face, or Big Brother Long will take care of you and shove all these chicken legs into your mouth. And then you'll kowtow and call me Long Ji, har har har. What? Is Wang Long really that ruthless? Does he really want to stuff dozens of chicken legs into Chu Yi's mouth? Wouldn't that suffocate him? As they listened to Wang Long's maniacal laughter, the crowd began to frown. What's the matter? Didn't see this coming, did you? You've offended the wrong person, and today, I'm going to finish you. Wang Long's small eyes flashed with malice as he gave orders to his burly men while preparing to stuff the chicken legs into Chu Yi's mouth. I'll see who dares. A chilling aura suddenly erupted from Chu Yi's melancholic eyes, freezing Wang Long's men in place. Although these men were burly, their momentum was nowhere near Chu Yi's. At that moment, ding! Ding ding ding! A voice rang in Chu Yi's mind, the super god rich system has been activated. Do you want to bind it? HM? Super god rich system. Bind it. Chu Yi mentally responded. Binding starts now. 1%. 10%. 50%. 99%. A progress bar rapidly advanced in Chu Yi's mind. Ding. Ding ding ding. The system binding was successful. A shining panel appeared in Chu Yi's mind, visible only to him. Super God Rich System, 1. Level, First Level Rich God. Money, 1,000,001 million. Mood value, 0. Rich God points, 0. Strength, 5. Vitality, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 5. Lottery. Hidden. Note, this system is connected to major global bank systems and can pay in any way. Additionally, once bound, this system cannot be unbound. If forcibly unbound, the system will kill their host before unbinding. I am ruthless. As Chu Yi pondered, another voice sounded in his mind. This system starts with an initial amount of 1 million. Upon spending the corresponding amount within the level, the system will automatically upgrade the amount and level. The host earns 1 Rich God point for every 10 million spent. Rich God points can be used to increase strength, vitality, intelligence, speed, or for lottery and hidden attributes. So amazing? Chu Yi was completely stunned. There's even a hidden system. But first, I need to upgrade the system and complete the goal of spending 1 million. This is going to be too easy. Wait. What's their mood value under money? Chapter 2, What is a real tycoon? What is emotional value? Chu Yi didn't know. But when it came to spending 1 million, that was nothing for him. Since he was young, the thing he was best at was spending money. Har har, har 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 har. Did you see? This kid is scared silly. Seeing Chu Yi in shock, Wang Long thought he had intimidated him. His chubby face couldn't hide the growing smugness. How foolish. Chu Yi curled the corner of his mouth slightly, not concealing his disdain for Wang Long. He was just about to spend 1 million, and this fool, Wang Long, had just given him the perfect excuse. Since that's the case, I'll treat today, all expenses are on me. Chu Yi's melancholic eye swept across the crowd, and he spoke slowly. His voice wasn't loud, but it caused an uproar. What? Chu Yi is treating. This is the cafeteria of the most luxurious noble school in the state city. Bird's nest, shark fin, abalone, and even the finest seafood, everything was available. This meal wasn't something that could be had for just tens of thousands, it could cost hundreds of thousands or even millions. The admiration from Zhang Fan, +5, +2, +1. The admiration from Sun Wei, +5, +2, +1. The admiration from Yarn Chao, +5, +2, +1. The admiration from Wang Meng, +5, +2, +1. The admiration from Liu Jiao, +8, +5, +3, +1. From. What was this admiration? As Chu Yi wondered, he saw light spots appearing above everyone's heads and gathering toward him. Then, the display of the godly tycoon system changed. The value behind the emotional value, which Chu Yi had never understood, started fluctuating. 0. +8. +8. +8. +17. Finally, when the emotional value reached 1000. Ding! A crisp sound echoed as the system prompted, "The emotional value has reached 1000, successfully converted into one godly tycoon point." Then, the emotional value reset to 0. The godly tycoon point became 1. Now he understood. A smile appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. It turns out emotional value can be converted into godly tycoon points, at a ratio of 1000 to 1. Godly tycoon points could be used to increase basic attributes like strength, vitality, intelligence, and speed. They could also be used for lotteries and unlocking hidden functions. Who would have thought that simply saying, "I'll treat," would earn him so much emotional value? And the emotional value was still increasing. +1. +2. +5. +8. You're treating. This is hilarious. What are you going to treat with? As Chu Yi was thinking, Wang Long's arrogant voice rang out again. His fat face showed an even more smug grin as he said, "Chu Yi, don't think I don't know, the Chujian Group is about to go bankrupt. What are you pretending to be so rich for?" Pretending to be rich? Chu Yi slowly turned his head, his melancholic, deep eyes looking at Wang Long. "You? What do you want?" Wang Long's fat face froze for a moment, and his body instinctively took a step back. He had a bad feeling. At this moment, a dark light spot appeared above his head. From Wang Long's sphere, +1. This fat guy is starting to get scared. This is the effect I wanted. But his fear value isn't high enough. Let me light up your fear. Chu Yi's sharp jawline curled into an eerie smile. Ding! From Wang Long's sphere, +2. Boss. Chu Yi slowly raised his slender hand, holding a bank card, and said to the cafeteria manager, "There's 1 million in this card, charge it all to me." What? All? 1 million? Geng Mingliang was stunned. As the owner of the cafeteria in a noble school in the state city, he had seen how extravagant the students were. There were plenty who recharged tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands at once. But no one had ever recharged 1 million, and treated the entire school staff and students to a meal. Only Chu Yi had ever done that. Now that's rich. What is a real tycoon? This right here, this is what being a true tycoon means. To say that the Chujian Group is going bankrupt, Geng Mingliang almost couldn't believe it. How could he still do this even if it were bankrupt? Ding! 1 million recharge successful. Whoosh! This time, the entire cafeteria erupted in cheers. Awesome! Chu Yi is so handsome. Of course, he is the young master of Chujian Group. Chu Yi, I love you. Chu Yi, I want to marry you. Chu Yi, you are my Prince Charming. At this moment, many girls were already starry-eyed as they looked at Chu Yi's handsome face. Even some teachers in the distance were deeply shocked. From Zhang Fan's admiration, +10, +5, +3. From Sun Wei's admiration, +10, +5, +3. From Yang Chao's admiration, +10, +5, +3. From Wang Meng's admiration, +10, +5, +3. From Liu Jiao's admiration, +15, +5, +3. From Geng Mingliang's admiration, +20, +15, +10. From. Whoosh! One by one, bright light spots flooded toward Chu Yi like a wave. The emotional value on the Godly Tycoon system panel began to fluctuate. 105. 123. 141. 159. 177. 222. Not long after. Ding! A crisp sound echoed again, and the system prompted, "The emotional value has reached 1000, successfully converted into one Godly Tycoon point. Your current Godly Tycoon points, 2. Ding ding ding. Because you spent 1 million, the system is upgrading. 1 million brought 2 godly tycoon points, plus the system upgrade. Still not enough. Chu Yi felt that many people's emotional values weren't high enough, and he could continue earning emotional value. After all, the money had already been spent, so he might as well maximize their emotional value. From today on, I'll cover all of your meal expenses. Chu Yi's smile grew even wider. Spending money was the easiest thing for him. Thank you, young Master Chu. Young Master Chu is so generous. Tycoon, such a tycoon. Chu Yi, I will definitely have your baby. I can't believe I said that. How embarrassing. Some girls couldn't help but become infatuated as they gazed at Chu Yi's elegant face. Whoosh! The entire cafeteria exploded in excitement. From Zhang Fan's admiration, +20, +15, +10. From Sun Wei's admiration, +20, +15, +10. From Yang Chao's admiration, +20, +15, +10. From Wang Meng's admiration, +20, +15, +10. From Liu Jiao's admiration, +20, +15, +10. From Geng Mingliang's admiration, +40, +20, +15. From. This time, countless light spots surged toward Chu Yi like unyielding starlight. The emotional value on the Godly Tycoon system panel fluctuated again: 560, 605, 650, 695, 177, 770. Not long after. Ding! A crisp sound echoed once more, and the system prompted, "The emotional value has reached 1000, successfully converted into 1 godly tycoon point. Your current godly tycoon points, 3. Ding! Another crisp sound echoed, and the system prompted, "The emotional value has reached 1000, successfully converted into 1 godly tycoon point. Your current godly tycoon points, 4. In the astonished gaze of the crowd, the godly tycoon points settled at 4, but the emotional value still showed 641 points remaining. Let us go further. Chu Yi believed the power of godly tycoon points far exceeded his imagination. Therefore, he had to accumulate as many godly tycoon points as possible. Finally, he slowly turned his handsome face toward Wang Long and his group of lackeys. These idiots are still here. Chapter 3, Igniting Your Fear. Emotional points can be converted into God-tier points. Since that bastard Wang Long brought people here, how could he not contribute some emotional points to himself? Chu Yi slowly turned his melancholic gaze towards the group. Brother Long, what should we do? At that moment, the faces of Wang Long's few lackeys turned grim. They didn't know that Chu Yi's real goal was to collect God-tier points from them, but they knew he had just casually spent 1 million. That alone was enough to instill fear in them. What should we do? What can we do? Wang Long turned to leave. He was beginning to doubt whether the Chujian group was really as legendary as it seemed. If that's the case, then a person who could casually throw away 1 million, like Chu Yi, was definitely not someone they could afford to provoke. Only the people behind him could deal with Chu Yi. Stop. At this moment, Chu Yi spoke. Chu Yi, what do you want to do? Wang Long's chubby body trembled slightly, freezing in place. Ding! Fear from Wang Long, +5. Fear from Kongshin, +3. Fear from Wang Lin, +2. Fear from. What do I want to do? Chu Yi smiled. He could tell that Wang Long and the others were starting to get scared. Wang Long, you should know that I, Chu Yi, am not an ungrateful person, right? Chu Yi spoke unhurriedly, his tone cold and commanding. Wang Long's chubby face revealed a hint of panic. He had an ominous premonition. Chu Yi was indeed not an ungrateful person. Not only that, but he was also someone who valued loyalty deeply. You just gave me a few chicken legs, and I accepted them. As the saying goes, one good turn deserves another. I should give you something in return, right? Chu Yi slowly turned to the cafeteria owner, Geng Mingliang. I just recharged 1 million, shouldn't you give me something in return? Mr. Chu, please feel free to ask, Geng Mingliang quickly responded. Then give me 10 spicy hot pots, the hottest and spiciest you have. Don't worry, Mr. Chu. I'll make sure to put plenty of ingredients in them. No. I don't want it. Before Ging Mingliang could finish, Wang Long was dumbfounded. He turned to run. 10 of the hottest and spiciest hot pots. Chu Yi was trying to kill him. At the same time. Ding. Fear from Wang Long, plus 20, plus 15, plus 10. Gray light points shot towards Chu Yi. Chu Yi paid no attention to Wang Long attempting to escape. The corner of his mouth curled into a slight sneer, forming a dismissive arc. Whoever catches Wang Long, I'll give each of you a 10,000 tip. This. Hurry up. Wang Long's few burly lackeys' eyes lit up with excitement. They came from ordinary families, and their parents had worked hard to send them to prestigious schools. Not making money when it's available is foolish. No, don't. Let go of me. You bastards, let go of me. In no time, Wang Long was being dragged into the cafeteria by a few of his lackeys, who were struggling with him like a fat pig. Meanwhile, 10 hot pots were already on the tables, each bubbling with hot steam. The bright red chili oil made one's heart tremble just by looking at it. You, what are you trying to do? Let go of me, let go. Wang Long was firmly pressed to the ground by his lackeys, unable to move, watching helplessly as Chu Yi poured the scalding, fiery hot pot broth towards his mouth. Oh. His throat felt like it was on fire, and his pale chubby face turned bright red from the spice. Sweat began to pour from his forehead. Pour it in, keep pouring. Chu Yi clapped his hands and gave the order. Yes, Mr. Chu. They were paid to help others out of trouble. Without hesitation, Wang Long's lackeys turned on him, grabbed the hot pots, and began forcefully pouring the soup into his mouth. Don't. As they continuously poured the hot pot broth into Wang Long's mouth, his screams echoed through the cafeteria, sounding as if pigs were being slaughtered. Many people felt a chill run down their spine. Fatty. Chu Yi's voice grew colder. Are you still arrogant with me now? No, no more, absolutely not. Wang Long's chubby face seemed as if it had been cooked through. His head and clothes were covered in hot pot broth and vegetables. He was a mess. He was completely terrified now. Simple and brutal. This was Chu Yi's way of striking back. Ding. Fear from Wang Long, plus 100. 100 fear points. Chu Yi looked at Wang Long and smiled. It seemed that the fatty had been severely burned by the hot pot. This time, he was genuinely frightened. Remember, the big brother is always the big brother, and no one should challenge the big brother's authority. Like a gentleman, Chu Yi took a piece of tissue and wiped his palms, then tossed it onto Wang Long's burned face, snorting, "Go back and tell Sun Bo that if there is anything, just come at me directly." After saying that, Chu Yi turned and left amid the envious gazes of the crowd. Whoosh! So handsome, Tilder. That was so badass. That was so satisfying. Chu Yi, you're so handsome. Chu Yi, I love you, I love you. Chu Yi, no matter if you're really the young master of Chujian Group, I'd still be your girlfriend. The moment Chu Yi turned around, excited cheers erupted from behind him. The entire cafeteria became an ocean of admiration. Excitement from Zhang Fan, plus 30, plus 15, plus 10. Amazement from Sun Wei, plus 30, plus 15, plus 10. Admiration from Yang Chao, plus 40, plus 20, plus 10. Worship from Wang Meng, plus 50, plus 30, plus 10. Affection from Liu Jiaojiao, plus 60, plus 40, plus 10. Affection from Wu Yun, plus 50, plus 40, plus 10. Amazement from Ging Mingliang, plus 40, plus 20, plus 10. From. Countless light points poured towards Chu Yi like sparkling stars, almost enveloping him in an endless glow. At the same time, the emotional points on the God tier system panel began to change again. 902. 957, 1012. 82, 509. 880. Not long after. Ding. A crisp sound rang out, and the system prompted, emotional points have reached 1000, successfully converted into one God tier point. Your current God tier points, 5. Ding. The system prompted again, emotional points have reached 1000, successfully converted into one God tier point. Your current God tier points, 6. Ding. By the time Chu Yi stepped out of the cafeteria, his God tier points had reached 7. Ding ding. The crisp sound kept ringing as his God tier points finally reached 10. Meanwhile, 203 emotional points remained. A faint smile appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. This time, spending 1 million was worth it. Chu Yi, wait, you have no idea who you've offended. You've offended young Master Sunday. Just wait to be dealt with. After Chu Yi disappeared at the door of the cafeteria, Wang Long's furious roar echoed. Ding! Hatred from Wang Long, plus 100. The emotional points on the God tier system panel, 303. It seems that the fatty bears a deep grudge against me. A trace of coldness appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. Wang Long had no idea that his hatred would only increase his emotional points. Chapter 4, Dogs Rely on Their Superiors. Ding ding ding. Their host successfully spent 1 million and is now upgraded to a second-level rich man. At the entrance of the cafeteria. As soon as Chu Yi walked out, your voice came into my mind. A dazzling curtain of light appeared in front of him. Super Rich System, 1. Level 2 Rich Man. Amount, 10 million. 10 million. Sentiment value, 303. Super Rich Points, 10. Strength, 5. Chi and Blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 5. Lottery. Hide. The system limit has been successfully upgraded to 10 million. I have also successfully upgraded to a second-level rich man. The key is to have 10 super rich points. I really didn't expect this. Such a big change happened in just one lunch time. Chu Yi looked at the various attributes on the light screen, feeling excited but a little hesitant. How should strength, blood, intelligence and speed be calculated? He does not plan to use the super rich points to draw prizes and open hidden functions now. Because those two functions required too many rich points, which he couldn't afford at the moment. His main goal now is to improve his level of richness. To put it simply, it means spending money, and spending more money. Earn some super rich points by the way. So in the end, he spent all 10 of his rich points on strength without hesitation. Bite. Ding ding ding. As crisp sounds came from the light curtain, the panel properties were constantly changing. The final strength attribute is fixed at 15. The points of the rich man returned to 0. Chu Yi slowly clenched his fists. He felt that although his body shape had not changed, his strength seemed to have increased a lot. Now my strength should be twice that of a normal person. If a normal person's strength is 50 kilograms, my strength should be around 100 kilograms. Now it is Chujian Group. Chu Yi knew that Chujian Group didn't have much time left for him. However, he never worried about spending money. The skill he has acquired since childhood is spending money. So what to do next? It is to redeem the limited edition Lamborghini Aventador. 2 days later. It's the weekend. After Chu Yi left the school, he called his father and mother, and then went straight to the city center. The bustling city center is bustling with traffic. In the most conspicuous position in the center, there stands a building with 4 big characters hanging on it. Xingxin Car Dealership. One of the top car dealerships in the state capital. Only the top-level sports car business is handled here. But the name is a bit rustic. Chu Yi stood at the crossroads and slowly looked up at the 4 big words in the air. An extremely arrogant face flashed through his mind. Through the bright glass, Chu Yi saw from afar his silver Lamborghini Aventador parked in the most dazzling position of the car dealership. This car is really beautiful. Yeah, a limited edition Lamborghini. And it's been perfectly modified, which is really tempting. Today is Sunday. There were already quite a few people in the car dealership at this time. And many people were watching the Lamborghini Aventador. Many people also uttered exclamations. This also includes Chu Yi. He was very satisfied with his previous car, otherwise he would not have planned to buy a new car as soon as he left school. After hearing the exclamations around him, Chu Yi frowned slightly. The emotion value on the rich man's panel didn't increase at all. It must be because this Lamborghini Aventador is not his yet. Chu Yi thought about it and the corners of his angular mouth slightly raised, outlining a confident arc. It looks like I'm going to earn some emotional points again. I just don't know how rich I can get this time. Hey, look, come and see, who is here. Chu Yi had just stood in front of the Lamborghini Aventador when a sharp voice was heard, attracting a lot of people's attention. A guy in a suit and tie, with a greasy face and a beer belly appeared next to him. It was Liu Lin, the manager of the car dealership. "Isn't this Master Chu, the famous playboy in our state capital?" Liu Lin said in a sarcastic voice, stepped hard on Chu Yi's brand new leather shoes, leaving a conspicuous footprint, and then pretended to be innocent and said, "I'm really sorry, I didn't mean it. This fat guy definitely did it on purpose." When he stepped on himself, he deliberately ran over him. Chu Yi glanced coldly at Liu Lin's fat face. This guy's big mouth reminded Chu Yi of the toad monster in the Monkey King's wedding scene in A Chinese Odyssey. And Chu Yi knew that this guy was absolutely petty and treacherous. "Master Chu, how come you have time to come to my car shop today?" Liu Lin said with an arrogant expression, "I just stepped on you, what can you do to me? You can't forget your beloved car, right? Want to come and see and reminisce?" Liu Lin looked as if he had suddenly realized something and sneered, "But I'm sorry, this car is no longer yours, and our dealership does not welcome customers like you." Chu Yi frowned. "Why? Why? Oh my god, you're asking me why?" Liu Lin looked like he deserved a beating, and laughed loudly with his toad mouth open, "Because you are poor, har 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 har. It's true that dogs look down on people." Although Chu Yi has recently witnessed the fickleness of the world. However, when he saw Liu Lin's smug expression, he couldn't help but feel disgusted and said, "Is this how you treat your customers?" No, Mr. Chu, you are wrong. You are not even qualified to be my customer now." Liu Lin showed a hypocritical smile on his face, waved his hand towards the distance, and ordered fiercely, "Security, come and drive this poor guy out for me." "Yes, Manager Liu." After hearing Liu Lin's words, the two sturdy security guards came directly to Chu Yi and said unceremoniously, "Please leave our car dealership." "What's going on? What happened?" The crowd surrounding the car dealership kept looking over here. Even many people outside the car dealership were attracted. Suddenly, more and more people gathered around. "So handsome. Who is this young man? This boy is really good looking. Why do you look like a celebrity? I wish my boyfriend was as handsome as him." Bite. Favorability from Wang Minute +5. Favorability from Sunxia +5. Favorability from Liu Rong +5. As the crowd continued to gather, Chu Yi saw a lot of light spots coming towards him from the crowd. All that favorability comes from beautiful women. Why? Chu Yi sighed slightly in his heart, it seems that being handsome also has its advantages. I haven't even started earning emotional points yet, but the favorability has already come. Please leave our dealership. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude to you. Beside Chu Yi, two strong security guards, over 1.80 meters tall and with sturdy build, surrounded him on the left and right. As they saw more and more people gathering around, the two began to become proud. Today they not only have to show up in front of everyone, but also in front of the car dealership manager Liu Lin. In that case, you can just wait for promotion and salary increase in the future. The two security guards looked at each other and instantly understood each other's thoughts. Bite. Hatred value from Zhang Xiong +50. Hatred value from Hu Meng +50. Seeing two grey lights coming towards him, Chu Yi frowned. It's obvious that these two guys are taking advantage of the power of their masters. I want to do something to myself. Chu Yi's melancholy and deep eyes narrowed slightly, and a hint of coldness flashed across them. Although these two guys look sturdy and stronger than ordinary people, their strength is probably only slightly more than that of normal people, and is estimated to be around 80 kilograms at most. And now my strength is at least 100 kilograms. In that case, let's see how much emotional value and super rich points you two losers can contribute to me. Chapter 5. Do you look down on me so much? 2-1. Strong versus ordinary. Many people are not optimistic about Chu Yi. It even felt like he would be snatched away like a chick. Zhang Xiong and Hu Meng even showed smug smiles on their faces. However, a hint of excitement flashed in Chu Yi's melancholy eyes. He had already regarded the two strong men, Zhang Xiong and Hu Meng, as the boys who were giving away points. These two bastards are going to contribute emotional value and super rich points to themselves. It's bad, those two are going to take action. They are going to take action against the boy. Suddenly, the crowd became restless. Chu Yi has a well-proportioned body, and although he does not look thin, he is far inferior to the security guard who is over 1.8 meters tall and has a sturdy build. The key is that there are 2 security guards. This made the crowd watching look very pessimistic about Chu Yi. At this time, Zhang Xiong and Hu Meng had stretched out 2 large hands as big as bear paws, and at the same time, they grabbed Chu Yi's arm with one hand and pressed his shoulder with the other. "Boy, I just told you to leave obediently. If you don't leave, you can't blame us now." A sneer appeared on Zhang Xiong and Hu Meng's faces, and they grabbed Chu Yi's arms with a little force. They planned to make Chu Yi kneel in front of Liu Lin, humiliate him and then drag him out. However, what Zhang Xiong and Hu Meng did not expect was that Chu Yi's body did not move at all the moment they exerted force. "You didn't push him. How is this possible?" Zhang Xiong and Hu Meng's expressions turned serious. They looked at each other and suddenly exerted force with their hands. Still not moving. The 2 people became a little panicked. They knew they had encountered a tough opponent today. "It's time to go all out. Humph, you 2 pieces of trash want to attack me. You think too much. Get out of my way." Chu Yi snorted coldly and waved his arms. Before Hu Meng and Zhang Xiong could do anything, a scream was heard and the strong figure fell to the ground with a thud. He looked extremely embarrassed. What? He was actually knocked down. How is this possible? Absolutely impossible. It's so handsome. I didn't expect that this boy is not only handsome, but also so powerful. I just love him to death. The crowd watching was in complete uproar. Some beautiful women who were dressed brightly and had elegant temperaments couldn't help but exclaim in amazement when they looked at Chu Yi's handsome face. Bite. Favorability from Wang Minute plus 20, plus 10. Favorability from Sun Xia plus 20, plus 10. Favorability from Liu Rong plus 30, plus 10. Zhang Ben's shock level plus 20, plus 10. Shock from Zhu Benyang plus 10, 5. From. As Hu Meng and Zhang Xiong fell to the ground, countless spots of light in the crowd flew towards Chu Yi like flying fluorescent lights. The emotion value on the Rich Man's panel is also growing rapidly, 262. 292. 330. 388. 423. Bite. A crisp sound was heard, and the system prompted, "The emotion value has reached 1000 and was successfully converted into 1 godly rich point. Your current Shenhao point is 1. Bite. Your current Shenhao points is 2. Bite. Your current rich points are 3. It actually increased by 3 super rich points." Chu Yi looked at the number of the richest people on the panel and nodded with satisfaction, then looked at Hu Meng and Zhang Xiong. You. Don't come over here." Hu Meng and Zhang Xiong were so scared that they got up and ran away. Bite. Fear from Hu Meng plus 50, plus 30, plus 10. Fear from Zhang Xiong plus 50, plus 30, plus 10. Good. After harvesting a wave of emotions from Hu Meng and Zhang Xiong, Chu Yi ignored them. After all, the emotional values of the 2 people have been almost squeezed out by me, and there is no point in squeezing them further. Now my target should be that fat guy Liu Lin. You. Bite. Fear from Liu Lin plus 1. When Chu Yi's deep eyes slowly turned his head, Liu Lin's fat body couldn't help but take 2 steps back, but his cheeks then became arrogant. In his opinion, no matter how strong Chu Yi was, he only pushed down 2 security guards. Chujian Group is still going to go bankrupt. Chu Yi is still going to become a pauper. How about it? Fatty. You didn't expect that these 2 losers are no match for me. The key is that there are things that you can't even imagine. A hint of coldness flashed across Chu Yi's melancholy eyes. He pointed to the Lamborghini Aventador beside him and said calmly, "This time I'm here to buy back my beloved car." What? Did you hear that? Everyone, did you hear that? This guy actually said he wanted to buy his car back. Har har har. Liu Lin laughed loudly and said to everyone, "Do you know who he is? Perhaps you are still unclear, so let me solemnly introduce to you the person standing in front of you. Chu Yi, the eldest son of the Chujian Group. It's the Chujian Group that's about to go bankrupt. He actually said he wanted to buy his car back. Do you know how much we sell this car for now? 11,000 and 900,000. Unscrupulous businessman. He is indeed a profiteer." Chu Yi's face turned completely cold. "The factory price of my car was 10 million, and I spent 3 million on modifying it. When they first received it, they only gave me 3 million. I didn't expect it to be sold for more than 10 million now. Didn't expect that. 11,000 and 900,000. The Chu Yi group is going bankrupt soon. You used to be a rich young master of the Chu family, but now you probably can't even take out 1 million, right? Liu Lin's greasy face became more and more proud. Do you look down on me so much? Chu Yi snorted. Yes, I just look down on you, what's wrong? Liu Lin knew very well in his mind that the boss behind him and Chu Yi in front of him did not get along well. Liu Lin felt extremely happy to be able to trample the famous young master of the former state capital under his feet. He became complacent and said, "If you can buy it, I will kneel down and lick your leather shoes clean for you." Oh, you don't have to pay the full amount. After all, you, Master Chu, are poor now. How about this, I'll make the decision and give you the decimal point. How about 10 million? But you have no money, right? Har har har. Liu Lin's shiny face trembled violently with excitement. You really want to make me laugh to death, em? You fat bastard, you want to make me laugh to death. Sorry, I want to buy this car back. What? Did I hear you right? Can a poor young master of the Chu Yi group like you come up with 10 million? Liu Lin's arrogant smile completely froze on his face. Take away the word run down, and please call me the young master of Chu Yi group. Thank you, fatty. Chu Yi very elegantly took out the bank card from his pocket, handed it to the beautiful girl standing next to him, and said, "Swipe the card." This is impossible. Liu Lin had a bad feeling, and his fat cheeks began to tremble uncontrollably. Bite. At the same time, a grey light spot above his head moved towards Chu Yi, fear value +10. Chapter 6. Come on, kneel down and lick me. Swipe card. Chu Yi casually handed the bank card to the beautiful saleswoman next to him. What's wrong? He found that the beautiful saleswoman did not react, but stared at his handsome face with stars in her eyes. Please swipe my card. Chu Yi waved the bank card in his hand lightly. R. The beautiful saleswoman's face turned red with embarrassment at the sudden situation. Just now, she was indeed attracted by Chu Yi's handsome face. Bite. Favorability from Liu Xiaowei +50, +30, +20. Chu Yi felt helpless as he looked at the slender back of the beautiful saleswoman. This is the advantage of being handsome. You can brush up your favorability at any time. It turns out that women and men have the same hobbies. Ding. Card swipe successful, 10 million. When the beautiful saleswoman came in front of Chu Yi with a shy look on her face, Liu Lin's greasy face was completely stunned. Ding ding ding. Their host successfully spent 10 million and has now been upgraded to a third-level rich man. When Chu Yi took the bank card handed over by the beautiful saleswoman, your voice came to his mind. A dazzling curtain of light appeared in front of him. Super Rich System, 1. Level 3 Rich Man. Amount, 100 million. 100 million. Emotional value, 715. Super Rich Points, 3. Strength, 15. Chi and Blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 5. Lottery. Hide. 100 million. 100 million. The Shanghai system is really awesome. I am now a third-level rich man. The credit limit has been successfully upgraded to 100 million. The corners of Chu Yi's mouth curled up slightly, outlining a calm and confident arc. When it comes to spending money, he has never lost. Handsome. So cool. The beautiful saleswoman was instantly attracted by Chu Yi's handsome face, and her heart was moved for a moment. Even many beautiful customers around were attracted by Chu Yi's handsome face. No, there is also the bank card in his hand. Tall, handsome and rich. Especially those starry eyes that are full of melancholy and depth. Oh, I feel like I'm falling in love with him. I also feel that I have been completely conquered by him. Chu Yi has become the perfect object in the hearts of many women. Bite. Favorability from 1 minute +50, +30, +20. Favorability from Sunxia +50, +30, +20. Favorability from Liu Rong +50, +30, +20. Zhang Ben's shock level +30, +20, +10. The shock level from Zhu Benyang +30, +20, +10. From. Bite. Ding ding. As everyone continued to talk, bright spots of light appeared above their heads and moved towards Chu Yi. System prompt: the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into 1 godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are 4. System prompt: the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into 1 godly rich point. Your current rich points are 5. Byte. Your current Shenhao points are 6. Byte. Your current Shenhao points are 7. 7 super rich points. It increased by 4 more. Chu Yi's deep eyes could no longer conceal his excitement. He didn't pay attention to the infatuated behaviors of the beauties around him or the shocked expressions of the men, but slowly looked at Liu Lin, the car dealership manager who was standing next to him, and was completely dumbfounded. This. How is this possible? At this moment, Liu Lin stood there in a daze, his toad-like face looking as if he had lost his parents. The situation has turned around. Chu Yi actually turned the tables. He could actually come up with 10 million? Liu Lin immediately realized the seriousness of the problem and said with a smile, Mr. Chu, no, just now. Did you step on me on purpose just now? No, it's a misunderstanding, it's definitely a misunderstanding, I didn't see you come in with my dog eyes. Bite. Liu Lin's hatred level plus 10. Liu Lin's hatred level plus 20. Liu Lin's hatred plus 30. As Liu Lin spoke, Chu Yi saw gray spots of light flashing above his head and moving towards him. I really didn't expect that this fat guy Liu Lin is such a good actor. He kept apologizing to me, but the hatred in his heart kept increasing. This bastard is a big harvester of my emotional value. How could he be forgiven so easily? Chu Yi narrowed his melancholy eyes slightly and snorted coldly, Fatty, you didn't expect me to come up with 10 million, right? This. Chu Yi's words made Liu Lin almost cry. That's true. If he had known that Chu Yi had 10 million, he would not have dared to do that even if he had 100 times the courage. He sold the car for 10 million yuan, which was priced at 11.9 million yuan. He had to pay the remaining 1.9 million himself. Otherwise the boss will just smash his head. The key point is that Chu Yi doesn't seem to have any intention of letting him go. Bite. Liu Lin's hatred level plus 40. Liu Lin's hatred level plus 60. Liu Lin's hatred plus 80. Wipe. Their hatred level of this fat guy is skyrocketing. In this case, I can't let you off easily. Chu Yi's deep eyes flashed with excitement, but his voice became colder and colder. Fatty, you seemed very arrogant just now, as if you were mocking me for having no money. How can that be possible? Chu Yi's words almost made Liu Lin fall to his knees, with beads of sweat the size of beans already oozing out of his forehead. He was almost smiling. Who are you? The richest kid in the state capital. How could I possibly mock you? Bite. Liu Lin's hatred level plus 100. Their hatred has increased again. Didn't you just want the security to kick me out? There was no way Chu Yi could expose Liu Lin, so he pointed at a few security guards standing in the distance with a look of fear on their faces. Those guys also saw it. Luckily they were a step slow in taking action. Otherwise they will be worse off than Hu Meng and Hu Meng. No, it's a misunderstanding, absolutely a misunderstanding. Liu Lin was completely dying, and now he wished he could find a hole in the ground to crawl into. I lost so much face in front of so many people. How will he survive in the future? He will become the laughing stock of all the people in the city. There aren't that many misunderstandings between you and me. Chu Yi snorted coldly, sat on the sofa, crossed his legs, pointed at the clear shoe print on his leather shoes, and snorted, come on, lick the footprints off my shoes for me. No, Mr. Chu, I was just joking. Liu Lin was already in tears. Joke. You fat bastard, are you telling me now that you are kidding me? Do you think I'm kidding you? Chu Yi pointed at Liu Lin's nose and scolded him, not giving him any face at all. Facing such an extremely powerful villain, he would never show mercy. Because he knew in his heart that if there was a next time, people like Liu Lin would jump out and step on him again. And it will be even harder than this time. The key is bite. Liu Lin's hatred level plus 120. Damn, this fat guy really hates himself. If that's the case, we can't let him go. Besides, Hu Meng and Zhang Xiong both contributed for super rich points to himself. It would be unreasonable for this fat guy not to contribute more to himself. Chapter 7, The Fatty's Money. Chu Yi was determined not to let Liu Lin go today. 10 million has been spent. Now all that remains is to earn more emotional points and rich points from this fat guy who looks down on others. Hurry up and add more. Chu Yi snorted coldly, frightening Liu Lin's fat body so much that it trembled slightly. What, Fatty, do you think you have become more capable, or do you think I can't handle you anymore? Chu Yi's starry eyes narrowed slightly, and a cold chill flashed across them. Frightened, Liu Lin knelt on the ground with a plop, begging for mercy. Mr. Chu, I was wrong. Please forgive me this time. Do you think my words are just wind on your ears? Or do you think that I wouldn't dare to do anything to you since Wang Liang is backing you up? Chu Yi's voice was cold and full of momentum as he said, I'll only give you 3 chances. If you don't lick my shoes clean, I'll drive over and kill you, you fat bastard. Do you believe it? 3, 2, Don't. Bite. Liu Lin's fear level plus 10. Plus 20. Plus 30. Plus 50. Grey spots of light floated above Liu Lin's head. The sweat on his fat cheeks couldn't help but flow down. Liu Lin was still scared. He knew that given the temper of the young man in front of him, even if the collision didn't kill him, it would most likely break one of his legs. Liu Lin is very clear in his mind whether a leg is more important or face is more important. If Wang Liang was here, Chu Yi might give him some face, but 1. Take it, I'll take it. Before Chu Yi finished his last number, Liu Lin could no longer hold on. His fat body fell to his knees in front of Chu Yi with a plop. He really wanted to cry, but he had to slowly stick out his fat tongue and lick Chu Yi's shoes. Wow. Yes. It actually did. It's beautiful. That's beautifully done. The crowd watching couldn't help but burst into an uproar when they saw Liu Lin's appearance. Many people couldn't help but admire Chu Yi when they looked at him. You know, this is the Wang family's property. Liu Lin is from the Wang family. He was pressing Wang Zhe's face to the ground and rubbing it hard. The Wang family has considerable influence in the provincial capital. Bite. Favorability from Wang Minute plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Favorability from Sun Xia plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Favorability from Liu Rong plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Zhang Ben's shock level plus 30, plus 20, plus 10. The shock level from Zhu Benyang plus 30, plus 20, plus 10. Admiration from Liu Xia plus 50, plus 30, plus 10. Admiration from Sun Wei plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. From. Bite. Ding ding. As everyone continued to talk, bright spots of light appeared above their heads and moved towards Chu Yi. System prompt, the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into 1 godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are 8. Your current Shenhao points are 9. Your current Shenhao points are 10. Your current Shenhao points are 11. Your current Shenhao points are 12. 12 super rich points. It increased by 5 more. Chu Yi was so excited that he almost jumped up. He suppressed his excitement and snorted at Liu Lin, remember, don't look down on others in the future, or I'll dig out your dog eyes and kick them like a ball. Go away. After Chu Yi finished speaking, he kicked Liu Lin in the fat cheek without giving him any chance. R. Liu Lin screamed and sat down on the ground, then he felt his entire nose was sore. There was an obvious shoe print on his face. Bite. Anger from Liu Lin plus 50. It turns out that this fat guy still has some money to be squeezed out. Thinking about this, he slowly stood up and snorted at Liu Lin, why are you not convinced? Yes or no? Yes or no? You're not convinced, are you? As Chu Yi spoke, he stepped hard on Liu Lin's fat cheek again. Oh, my face, my face. I give in. Liu Lin hugged his face which was covered with footprints and wailed, Mr. Chu, I give in. Please stop hitting me. Bite. Anger from Liu Lin plus 50. Plus 70. Plus 80. Plus 100. Wipe. It's true. Sure enough, this fat guy has a lot of money. The grey light on Liu Lin's head continued to move towards Chu Yi. A smile appeared on Chu Yi's face. He felt that he could still get some more emotional points from him. So he raised his foot again without hesitation and aimed it at Liu Lin. My face. Mr. Chu, stop fighting, stop fighting. In an instant, the entire car dealership was filled with Liu Lin's screams, like a pig being slaughtered. In a short while, his fat cheeks became swollen. At the same time, bite. Hatred value from Liu Lin, plus 100. Plus 100. Plus 100. Plus 100. Plus 100. I wipe. This fat guy's hatred value was actually maxed out. This makes it even more impossible to let him go. Chu Yi stomped on Liu Lin frantically again. Mr. Chu, don't hit me, don't hit me. After a while, Liu Lin was lying on the ground, completely out of temper, with blood oozing from the corners of his mouth. He wailed, I don't dare anymore. I really don't dare anymore. Bite. Hatred value from Liu Lin, plus 100. Plus 80. Plus 40. Plus 10. Seeing the hatred value light spot on Liu Lin's head getting smaller and smaller, Chu Yi knew that all the benefits of this fat guy had been completely squeezed out. Finally, he kicked Liu Lin directly on the butt. Bite. Hatred value from Liu Lin, plus 5. This left him completely speechless. Decided not to embarrass Liu Lin anymore. Fatty, go back and tell Wang Liang that sooner or later I will make him pay back the debt between him and me. Chu Yi adjusted his suit very casually. With his straight figure and handsome face, he got into the silver Lamborghini Aventador in the amazed eyes of everyone. Floating away. At the same time, a voice came from the car dealership again. Bite. Favorability from Wang Minute plus 30, plus 20, plus 10. Favorability from Sun Xia plus 30, plus 20, plus 10. Favorability from Liu Rong plus 20, plus 10, plus 5. Zhang Ben's shock level plus 20, plus 10, plus 5. The shock level from Zhu Benyang plus 20, plus 10, plus 5. Admiration from Liu Xia plus 20, plus 10, plus 5. Admiration from Sun Wei plus 20, plus 10, plus 5. From. Bite. Ding ding. System prompt, the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into one godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are 13. Your current Shenhao points are 14. Your current Shenhao points are 15. Qingliushi Town. A very poetic name. An old luxury villa area in the state capital. Each building costs as much as 100 million. It is definitely something that ordinary people can afford. By this calculation, the lowest starting price is 200,000 per square meter. At the entrance of villa number 18. Boom. The roar of the engine was heard. The Lamborghini Aventador was parked in front of the villa. A handsome figure got out of the car. It was Chu Yi. Chapter 8, What a Big Tone. Qingliushi Town. Outside villa number 18. Chu Yi tightened the buttons of his suit and looked towards the second floor window with a happy smile on his face. Because there is a cute little head sticking out there. Brother is back, brother is back. A babyish voice was heard, and a little girl in a princess dress ran down the stairs with her chubby little bare feet. Hey, Yanga, slow down. As their voice came, two figures appeared in the kitchen behind the little girl. A middle-aged man, wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and with a gentle temperament. A mature and beautiful woman, dignified and gentle, with excellent temperament, and the years seemed to have left no trace on her soft face. They were Chu Yi's father and mother. Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute, the chairman of Chu Jian Group. Little darling, do you miss me, your brother? Have. How much do you miss it? I really do. I really do. Real. I don't believe it. Come and kiss my brother. Chuckle. Hamar. Chu Yang's giggling laughter came from outside the villa door, and Chu Yi had already carried her into the villa. Xiao Yi is back. Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute showed happy smiles on their faces. Mom and Dad, I have something else to do. I'll go upstairs first. This child, even if he comes back. Jiang Minute took Chu Yanga from Chu Yi's hands. Although her tone was a little complaining, her beautiful eyes could not hide her doting. In fact, Jiang Minute and Chu Dongcheng didn't know that Chu Yi was eager to see the system panel of the rich man. Forget it, you know Xiao Yi's personality. But, wait. Suddenly, a trace of surprise appeared on Jiang Min's soft face. That car. What car? Chu Dongcheng was a little confused. Hasn't Che Xiaoyi already been sold? Jiang Min turned to look at the Lamborghini Aventador parked outside the yard and said, Xiaoyi sold that car before and gave me 10 million. As she spoke, she took out a bank card. Why is the car back now? Jiang Min felt that something was a little strange. Oh. Never mind. Xiaoyi has been used to spending lavishly since he was young. Let him be in his final days. Chu Dongcheng shook his head slightly. The situation of Chujian Group was already quite critical. That's all we can do. Jiang Min's beautiful eyes slowly looked towards the second floor, with a hint of doubt on her pretty face. Inside the room on the second floor. After Chu Yi closed the door, a bright light curtain appeared in front of him. Super Rich System, 1. Level 3 Rich Man. Amount, 100 million. 100 million. Emotional value, 86. Super Rich Points, 15. Strength, 15. Chi and Blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 5. Lottery. Hide. Chu Yi was a little excited. Level 3 Rich Man. A quota of 100 million. 15 Super Rich Points. How about trying the lottery first? However, when he clicked on the lottery, he found that there was no movement. At this time, a voice came from the system. You need at least 50 Shenhao points to draw the lottery, and 100 Shenhao points to open the hidden function. What? Chu Yi was stunned. Do you need 50 godly points to participate in the lottery? It takes 100 points to unlock hidden features. Since he is unable to draw prizes or activate hidden functions now, he is now faced with a problem: what to do with those 15 rich points. Points to the 5 basic panels of strength, blood, power, and speed. Or save up for a lucky draw, or unlock hidden features. Chu Dongcheng, get out here quickly. At this moment, an arrogant voice suddenly came from downstairs, which made Chu Yi frown. Outside the window, a group of guys in black suits have broken into the yard of the villa. Their faces were grim but with a hint of excitement, like a group of hungry wolves seeing food. The leader was a young man who was about the same age as Chu Yi. But the young man, although strong and sturdy, had a colder look in his eyes. Chu Sheng, the son of Chu Dongyuan, the second son of the Chu family. A hint of coldness flashed across Chu Yi's deep eyes. I really didn't expect that my old rival would come. In that case, speed. Chu Yi chose speed without hesitation. Bite. Ding ding ding. A voice came. The 15 rich points on the rich panel quickly returned to 0, and the value behind the speed attribute became 20. Chu Yi stood up and moved around, and felt that his speed had indeed increased, at least more than twice as fast as before. Now it's time to meet my old rival. Chu Yi's melancholy eyes slowly looked downstairs. Xiaosheng, why are you here? In the living room downstairs. When Chu Dongcheng opened the door, Chu Sheng swaggered in and casually threw par. A promissory note was presented in front of Chu Dongcheng. Chu Lao-san, this is the IOU you signed with my father. You should understand what it says, right? How is this possible? Chu Sheng's words made Chu Dongcheng's face look ugly. He took 2 steps back in disbelief and sat on the sofa. It's you who did this. A moment later, Chu Dongcheng looked at Chu Sheng angrily. A month ago, Chujian Group had problems with its capital chain, so Jiang Minute asked him to find Chu Dongyuan and borrow 100 million yuan. The two brothers originally agreed to pay off the debt within a month. Chu Dongcheng wrote an IOU. This IOU is really good, with his signature on it, but the last sentence was not there at all. If Chu Dongcheng cannot repay their 100 million yuan loan within a month and voluntarily mortgages the villa at number 18 in Qingliushi town, Chu Dongyuan will take their house unconditionally. This was added later. This is a conspiracy. Chu Dongyuan's purpose was to get this house. At this moment, Chu Dongcheng understood. The current market value of this villa is at least 200 million. Chu Dongyuan originally lent him 100 million just to buy his own house. I really didn't expect this. Chu Dongyuan is so insidious. It seems that he had planned all this long ago and was just waiting for today. He is the second son of the Chu family, his own second brother. It would be fine if you didn't help at the critical moment, but you also want to add insult to injury and hurt yourself. Do the people of the Chu family really want the Chu Jiang group to go bankrupt? Sad and angry, Chu Dongqing's face was filled with grief and anger. I really didn't expect that the person who betrayed him at the critical moment was actually his second brother. Chu Lao-san, I'll give you 1 hour to get out of here. Chu Xing sat on the sofa and crossed his legs. That sinister face was filled with pride. Oh, your house is really nice, but it's a pity that it's not yours from today on. This is too much. This is really too much. Chu Dongqing's face turned red with anger, and he angrily said, Chu Xing, look carefully, the IOU says it's due tomorrow. What? Tomorrow? Chu Xing looked amused and snorted, do you think there is any difference between today and tomorrow? This. Chu Dongqing and Jiang Min's expressions became increasingly ugly. Indeed, for them there is no difference between today and tomorrow. They had already reached the end of their rope. Move it quickly. Chu Xing became more and more arrogant. Do you still want me to help you move? Chu Xing, you are so arrogant. At this moment, a voice came from upstairs and everyone was stunned. Chu Yi's figure has appeared at the stairs. Chapter 9, I can't beat him, but I still talk so much. Chu Yi. The second floor staircase. A figure shocked everyone. Chu Xing, you are getting bolder and bolder. A layer of frost had already formed on Chu Yi's handsome face. This house is worth more than 100 million. Defeated general. Chu Xing's sinister eyes flashed with contempt. I'm not here to fight with you this time. In the Chu family, he bullied Chu Yi a lot. Since childhood, the two of them would fight whenever they had a disagreement. Chu Xing often crushes Chu Yi by relying on his strong physique and speed. Since you're not here to fight me, then. Chu Yi stepped slowly, and a calm voice came from the stairs, get out of here now. Chu Yi, you haven't woken up yet, right? Chu Xing's face darkened. He held up the IOU in his hand and said, the IOU written in black and white is right here, do you want to default on the debt? Do you think I, Chu Yi, am a debt debtor? Chu Yi smiled. The smile is cold. Good. Very good, M. Chu Yi, do you know what I admire most about you since childhood? You have no money but you still act so arrogant, and you don't even admit defeat when you get beaten. Chu Xing held up the IOU, his expression proud. 100 million, can you take it out? What if I could take it out? Chu Yixing narrowed his eyes slightly, and a chill emerged. What? Can you take it out? Chu Xing was suddenly confused. Bite. Shock from Chu Xing +1. A faint grey light floated from Chu Xing's head towards Chu Yi. This bastard only has 1 shock value. Aren't you looking down on yourself a little too much? Chu Yi frowned slightly. Har har. Har 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 har. Suddenly, Chu Xing also laughed. Laughing so hard that he fell backwards. Chu Yi, you are such a good actor. Damn it, I was almost fooled by your superb acting skills. A hint of ferocity appeared in Chu Xing's sinister eyes, and he said angrily, I have already checked the accounts of Chu Jian Group. Now, let alone 100 million, you can't even take out 1 million. I even checked Chu Dongqing and Jiang Min's personal accounts, and they didn't even have 100,000 yuan left. The chairman of a well-known group company can't even take out 100,000 yuan now. How dare you speak so shamelessly to me here? Come on, 100 million. If you can take it out today, I'll kneel down and bark like a dog for you. Otherwise, you can kneel down in front of me and bark twice. How about that? Why? Chu Dongqing and Jiang Minute looked grim. The situation was exactly as Chu Xing said. This time Chu Dongyuan and Jiang Minute were caught in a weak spot, and Chu Yi was also humiliated. Chu Xing, do you know why I haven't killed you? Chu Yi's steps were still unhurried, and he had already walked down the stairs. When he looked at Chu Xing with his deep eyes, a trace of disdain flashed across his face. You are still as stupid as before. Chu Yi, you asked for this. Chu Xing's face gradually became gloomy. Am I wrong? You know to check the accounts of Chu Jian Group and my parents, but you overlooked one thing. A strange smile appeared on Chu Yi's lips. Why don't you think of checking my account? Give me the card number and I'll transfer 100 million to you right now. What? You? Bite. Ding ding. Before Chu Xing could react, a voice came from his phone. 100 million yuan has arrived. Then, Chu Xing was dumbfounded. I was completely dumbfounded. 100 million. 100 million. His eyes, like copper bells, were fixed on Chu Yi. It was as if I had forgotten to even breathe. The one who took out 100 million this time was not Chu Dongcheng or Jiang Minute. It turned out to be Chu Yi? How is this possible? Bite. Shock from Chu Xing plus 100. Shock from Hu Xiaowei plus 100. Shock from Zhu Hong plus 100. Envy from Liu Yu plus 100. From. Bright spots of light continuously appeared above the heads of Chu Xing and the group of people he brought with him and moved towards Chu Yi. Everyone's shock level reached the maximum. Xiao Yi, you are. Chu Dongcheng and Wang Minute woke up from their shock. Where did Chu Yi get so much money? This money definitely wasn't given by them. Dad, Mom, let's talk later. Chu Yi smiled indifferently at Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute, then took the IOU from the stunned Chu Xing with a calm face and slowly tore it up. It felt as if what he just spent was not 100 million, but $10. It's too late. It's too late, it's too late. Chu Yi's movements were neither fast nor slow, but very rhythmic. Remember, from now on, our two families will have no relationship. Par. Chu Yi threw the pieces of the IOU fiercely at Chu Xing's face. Clatter. The pieces of paper were flying like snow. Chu Xing's face turned completely gloomy. Insult. This is absolutely an insult to him. Bite. Anger from Chu Xing plus 100. Grey spots of light floated towards him from Chu Xing's head. The corners of Chu Yi's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a barely perceptible smile. He unbuttoned his suit and sat on the sofa calmly. The movements are graceful and elegant. What happened to Xiao Yi? At this time, Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute looked at each other. They both saw deep shock in each other's eyes. Because what they saw in Chu Yi's melancholy and deep eyes was calmness and composure. The two have been in the business world for many years and have met many people. How could I not see the confidence in Chu Yi's eyes? Is this their son? Is this their spoiled son who only knows how to spend money? At this moment, the two people felt a little unreal. Now you should kneel down and bark like a dog. Chu Yi smiled calmly, elegantly like a gentleman. You? Chu Xing instantly got furious. Arrogant. How arrogant? He just said it casually. How could he really kneel in front of Chu Yi and bark like a dog? It seems you don't want to. A trace of regret appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. Chu Yi, you'd better be careful. A ruthless look flashed across Chu Xing's sinister eyes. Believe it or not, even if Chu Lao-san is here, he can't protect you. I will beat you so hard that even Chu Lao-san won't be able to recognize who you are. Ho tilde. Before Chu Xing could finish his words, a whistling sound of wind was heard. Chu Yi was already in front of Chu Xing, and at the same time he stretched out his hand and slapped him. Chu Yi, you asked for this. Chu Xing instantly became furious. He never thought that Chu Yi would dare to attack him. From childhood to adulthood, there were only two situations between him and Chu Yi. First, he bullied Chu Yi. Second, he and Chu Xiong teamed up to bully Chu Yi. You can't blame me if you want to get beaten up. Today. Par. Before Chu Xing could finish his proud words, a crisp slap was already thrown on his face. R. With a scream, Chu Xing covered his cheek and took a few steps back in disbelief. At the same time, a leisurely voice came, you can't beat him, but you still talk so much. You are really asking for trouble. Chapter 10 Barking like a dog. Quiet. The entire space became completely quiet. Chu Xing covered his swollen cheek with his hands, feeling a little surprised, a little confused, and a little angry. What happened just now? He didn't even block Chu Yi's slap. Oh. He. How is this possible? Kneel down and bark like a dog. Chu Yi's voice remained calm and composed. It seemed as if the slap just now was just a simple little thing. R. Chu Yi, I'm going to kill you. Bite. Anger from Chu Xing plus 100. Chu Xing was furious, his anger level instantly reached the maximum, and he punched Chu Yi in the face. Xiao Yi, be careful. Jiang Minute and Chu Dongcheng became worried. Chu Xing has a sturdy build, and his physique of over 1.8 meters is in sharp contrast to Chu Yi. Plus, he's angry now. With this punch, wouldn't Chu Yi's head be bleeding? Dad, Mom, don't worry. A sunny smile appeared on Chu Yi's face. He knew that his father and mother were worried about him. But they don't know that they are no longer the same Chu Yi as before. The 10 points of strength you added weren't added in vain. Even the 2 strong security guards from Xingxin car dealership were no match for him. What's more, I have increased the speed by 15 points. It can be said that now he crushes Chu Xing in terms of both strength and speed. Too weak. Are you here to make fun of me? Facing Chu Xing's fist, Chu Yi's sharp-edged mouth curled up slightly, and a confident smile emerged. Par. A crisp sound was heard. Everyone was stunned. Because this time Chu Yi did not dodge at all, but reached out and grasped Chu Xing's sandbag-sized fist in his hand. Phew tilde. At the same time, a whistling sound of wind was heard. Chu Xing's face was filled with horror. Not good. Par. Chu Xing had no time to dodge. A crisp slap was heard. Chu Yi slapped him again with his backhand. R. Chu Xing let out a scream and staggered, almost falling to the ground. A red slap mark appeared on his face again, and it was symmetrical on both sides. Chu Yi, you dare to hit me. Bite. Anger from Chu Xing, plus 100. Plus 100. Plus 100. Chu Xing was completely furious, and his anger level was constantly soaring. His eyes were burning with rage, and his fists were clenched so hard that they made a crackling sound. Hit you? This is light. You dare to come to my house to take it. You still dare to show off to my father and mother. You want to leave like nothing happened after you're done. Do you think it would be so easy? You, Chu Xing, really think of yourself as a big shot. Explain. Who gave you the courage? Par. Par. Par par par. Before Chu Xing could swing his fist, Chu Yi's slap had already hit him in the face like a gust of wind. R. My face. At first, Chu Xing stretched his neck stubbornly and wanted to attack Chu Yi. But later I found that Chu Yi's speed of attack was too fast. The slap arrived so quickly that he didn't have time to react. And it happens both forward and backward at once. The blow caused a burning pain on his cheek. He had to step back while screaming. Explain. Who gave you the courage? Par. Par. Another round of unexpected slaps came. Chu Xing felt like his cheek was about to explode. Bite. Fear from Chu Xing, plus 10. Fear from Chu Xing, plus 20. Plus 30. Plus 40. Plus 60. Finally, he was frightened by Chu Yi's slaps that were as dense as the wind. His heart was filled with shock, helplessness and screaming. How so? How is this possible? It shouldn't be. Chu Yi didn't have this kind of speed and strength before, and he was completely unable to fight back in front of him. Why is it the other way around now? He was completely crushed in terms of both strength and speed. His dodging speed could not keep up with the speed of Chu Yi's slap. It's like a young man in front of a martial arts master. I knew the other party was going to attack, but I couldn't defend myself at all. In the end, Chu Yi's slaps fell on his cheeks like raindrops. In a short while, Chu Xing's cheeks had swelled up like a pig's head, and his eyes had swollen into slits, with a look of fear in them. Chu Yi, just wait for me, I won't let you go. Chu Xing was extremely angry and unwilling, but he knew in his heart that facing Chu Yi's slap, the only way left for him was to escape. This is his only hope now. It is also the only confidence. Because in the past he was always able to stop Chu Yi quickly. His speed is much faster than Chu Yi. But this time he miscalculated. He just ran a few steps. Chu Yi's figure appeared in front of him like a gust of wind, and at the same time stepped on Chu Xing's foot. At the same time, grind hard. Bang. The huge impact force caused Chu Xing to fall to the hard marble floor with a thud, and half of his 2 front teeth were knocked out. R. Chu Xing screamed with blood in his mouth. The severe pain caused his cheeks to become distorted. The people around were completely confused. Chu Yi's speed just now. So fast. The latecomer arrives first. It is more than twice as fast as Chu Xing. You know, Chu Xing was trying his best to escape just now. Chu Yi was also a little surprised that his speed had increased so much. It should be because I added 15 speed points. But that's okay. Otherwise, Chu Xing would have really run away. Now I'll give you one last chance. Bark like a dog for me. Chu Yi slowly placed one foot on the back of Chu Xing's hand. At the same time, work hard. My hand. Let go, my hand is going to break. A painful wail broke out from Chu Xing's mouth, and he rolled over on the ground with his body hunched over. Will you scream or not? Chu Yi's voice was extremely cold. Since childhood, the brothers Chu Xing and Chu Xiang have bullied him a lot, while the brothers Chu Donyuan and Chu Donghong have been even more laissez-faire. This is also the reason why he has no good feelings towards the Chu family. Bark, bark. I'm barking. Can't I just bark like a dog? Take your feet away quickly. Chu Xing's swollen cheek began to twist and deform due to the severe pain, which made people feel extremely terrified. He knew in his heart that Chu Yi really dared to break his palm. Hurry up. Woof woof woof. I am a dog, woof woof woof. Bite. Chu Xing's anger value plus 100. Chu Yi looked at the grey spots of light that kept flying over Chu Xing's head, and he smiled. This bastard was barking like a dog and hating himself at the same time. Looks like I need to give you some more strength. Will you dare to act arrogantly in front of me again? I won't dare. I won't dare. I absolutely won't dare. Don't step on it, it will break if you step on it again. Chu Yi exerted a little force with his feet, and Chu Xing let out another painful wail, struggling desperately to retreat. He knew that he was completely screwed this time. And it was a terrible failure. Chapter 11: A bold idea. So frustrating. It's so fucking frustrating. Chu Xing felt extremely aggrieved. Originally, buying Chu Dongqing's house was a very glorious thing. As luck would have it, he ran into Chu Yi at home. And then, it was miserable. Not only was Chu Yi beaten black and blue, but he was also forced to bark like a dog. Bark like a dog. Damn it. How could he face people if this got out? This time, Chu Xing finally realized how arrogant he was before, and how miserable he is now. Now you know who has the final say here, right? Chu Yi stretched out his slender white fingers and elegantly adjusted his suit. I know. Chu Xing was about to cry. I was beaten and also beaten. I was scolded and also scolded. He also learned to bark like a dog. Chu Yi still didn't move his feet. Now let me ask you, what should you call him? Chu Yi pointed at Chu Dongcheng. Chu Lao-san. Before Chu Xing could finish his words, he felt a sharp pain in his body, causing him to scream again. He quickly changed his words and said, No, Dad, he is my dad. What about her? Chu Yi looked at Jiang Minute. Mom, she is my mom, my real mom. Chu Xing forced a flattering smile on his bruised face. Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute were both confused. I've known for a long time that Chu Xing is a coward, but I didn't expect him to be so cowardly. It's okay to just bark like a dog. In the end, he even recognized the wrong parents. If Chu Dongyuan knew about this, wouldn't he be furious? As for the people brought by Chu Xing, they were completely speechless, but they didn't dare to say a word. Chu Xing was beaten into a pig's head, let alone them. Given Chu Yi's temper, if they dared to make a move, the consequences would probably be much more serious than Chu Xing's. Yes, you are finally enlightened. Chu Yi nodded with satisfaction. Chu Xing was completely speechless. What he said? Go back and tell Chu Lao to be careful. Do you still want to occupy our house? Chu Yi glanced coldly at the bruised and swollen Chu Yi lying on the ground, and snorted, Sooner or later, I will make him kneel down and bark like a dog. Go away. You? Chu Xing's small eyes, swollen into slits, were filled with anger. He was angry. Very angry. But I didn't dare to get angry. He knew that given Chu Yi's temper, if he talked back again, it would not be as simple as just barking like a dog and getting bruised and battered. He might even end up with a torn flesh. What? Why don't you leave? Are you waiting to have the New Year's Eve dinner here? Chu Yi's cold eyes once again swept over Chu Xing, who was lying on the ground with a bruised face. Okay, you're cruel. Chu Yi's words made Chu Xing so angry that he almost vomited blood. He raised his head and angrily said to the people he brought with him, What are you looking at? Why don't you come over and help me, young master? Yes. Help Master Chu. Hurry up and help Master Chu. The people brought by Chu Sheng recovered from their shock after hearing his words and hurriedly went up to support him. Ouch, my waist. Chu Sheng gritted his teeth and limped towards the door as he was supported by someone. Where was the arrogance he had when he came? That limping look, a bit embarrassing. No. Very embarrassing. At the same time. Bite. Shock from Hu Xiaowei plus 80, plus 40, plus 20. Shock from Zhu Hong plus 80, plus 40, plus 20. Shock from Liu Yu plus 80, plus 40, plus 20. From. Anger from Chu Sheng plus 100. Anger plus 100. Anger plus 100. Bite. Ding ding. Although Chu Sheng and his group left in a mess, Chu Yi kept hearing crisp sounds. The system prompted, the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into 1 godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are. Chu Yi became a little excited. That's really good. When those bastards left, they contributed a wave of emotional value to me. Bite. Surprise from Jiang Minute plus 50, plus 20, plus 10. The shock from Chu Dongcheng plus 60, plus 30, plus 10. At the same time, Jiang Minute and Chu Dongcheng in the living room woke up from their shock. They couldn't wait to grab Chu Yi's hand and asked, Xiao Yi, what's going on? Where on earth did you get so much money? And how come your power is so strong? Although the two people often gave Chu Yi money, the amount was never as much as 100 million. Chu Yi looks like a normal person, but his strength and speed seem to be much stronger than normal people. Facing the concerned looks from Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute, Chu Yi smiled brightly and gave the reason he had thought of before, this money, I made it from investment. Invest? Yes, I made the money from investing. So are you okay? Mom and Dad, don't worry, I'm fine. Okay, no more talking. I'll go upstairs first and come down to eat later. Chu Yi dropped a word and ran upstairs impatiently. This child. Chu Dongcheng and Jiang Minute looked at each other, feeling a little worried. Why does it feel like Chu Yi is being mysterious after coming back this time? Go upstairs if you have nothing to do. Is there some treasure upstairs? In the room on the second floor. System, come out quickly. As soon as Chu Yi entered the room, he couldn't wait to open the Shenhao system. A bright light spread in the bedroom, and then an even more dazzling light curtain appeared in front of him. Super Rich System, 1. Level for Rich Man. Amount, 1 billion.00 billion. Emotional value, 333. Super Rich Points, 21. Strength, 15. Chi and Blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 20. Lottery. Hide. Level for Rich Man. Billions of dollars. 21 Super Rich Points. 333 Emotional Points. This is all the system has now. A happy smile appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. A billion amount. This is an achievement that ordinary people may never be able to achieve in their lifetime. And he, only a week. What surprised him was that the bastard Chu Sheng and the people he brought with him actually contributed 21 super rich points to him. This is an unexpected gain. After all, Wang Long only contributed 10 super rich points to him, and that bastard Liu Lin only contributed 15 super rich points to him. What to do next? Chu Yi frowned. The first question is the level and amount of the super rich. It is necessary to spend money to upgrade the Shenhao system as soon as possible to resolve the crisis of Chujian Group. After all, 40 billion is definitely not a small amount. According to the nature of the system, I'm afraid I have to reach the 6th level of rich man with a quota of 100 billion before I can freely dispose of 40 billion. The goal is hundreds of billions. It seems a little, not far away. The second problem is the emotional value and the rich points. Emotional value can be converted into rich points. And the super rich ones are even more amazing. Not only can it be used to improve the 4 basic attributes of strength, blood, intelligence, and speed, but it can also complete lottery and hidden functions. If the level and amount of the super rich are external manifestations, the super rich points are the foundation of one's own strength. Chu Yi has a clear understanding of this. Therefore, every time you spend money, you must try to obtain as many emotion points and rich points as possible. So, what should we do with this rich man's points at 21 points now? A bold idea came to Chu Yi's mind: keep it. Get 50 points. Lottery. He wanted to know what kind of prizes the system could draw. Chapter 12. Because of how. In the afternoon. Qingliushi town, outside villa number 18. Boom. The roar of the engine was heard. A domineering SUV stopped at the gate of the yard. A burly, middle-aged man walked down from the car. Yunyang. Inside the room, Chu Yi looked at the man far away and smiled. The man who got down from the bully looked a bit like 007. He is handsome and calm, and his strength is quite impressive. It is generally difficult for 4 or 5 experts to get close. He was once his goal. As far as he could remember, Yunyang had always been in his own home, like a member of the family. Dad and Mom asked me to call him Uncle Yun. Although he also works in Chujiang Group, his main task is to protect his father and mother. You little brat, you didn't even tell me you were back. After Yunyang entered the yard, he looked towards the room on the second floor and a smile appeared on his cheek. At the same time, Chu Dongcheng has already opened the door. Here I come. Here it comes. Have you eaten yet? Have eaten. Study. Good. The brief eye contact said it all. The 2 men turned around and went upstairs, one after the other. Chu Yi clearly felt that Yunyang's expression turned serious the moment he lowered his head and entered the room. This made him a little curious. From childhood to adulthood, I have never seen Yunyang so solemn. Second floor. A study room with very elegant decoration and a hint of ancient charm. The bookshelves were filled with all kinds of ancient books, as well as various strange manuscripts that had not yet been put away. Those are all Chu Dongcheng's masterpieces. Chu Yi once heard that Chu Dongcheng was a talented person specializing in archaeology and history in the country. Very scholarly temperament. Jiang Minute was once the goddess of Longcheng University. An absolute northern beauty. At that time, the young masters of the major wealthy families in Longcheng lined up for several kilometers in order to pursue Jiang Minute. What a pity. In the end, Jiang Minute chose Chu Dongcheng. The talented man and the beautiful woman broke the hearts of the young masters in Longcheng. Chu Yi discovered that whenever his mother talked about his father, her beautiful eyes would sparkle. Later the company was established. Chu Dongcheng is responsible for technology, and Jiang Minute is responsible for management and marketing. The couple's cooperation is seamless. However, their marriage was strongly opposed by the Longcheng Jiang family, to the point of severing the relationship. How is it going? In the study. Chu Dongcheng stood in front of the window. He lit a cigarette, took a deep puff, and his eyes could not hide the fatigue. It's more serious than I thought. Yunyang's face was solemn, and he said, a new round of offensive from those guys is coming. It's not certain whether Chujiang Group can hold out this time. It seems they are determined to win this time. Chu Dongcheng was still smoking, and there was no significant emotional fluctuation on his face. It was as if he had anticipated all this. After a moment, he slowly opened his mouth and asked, are those people behind this confirmed? In fact, you should have known it in your heart a long time ago. A bitter smile appeared on Yunyang's face, and his reserved eyes slowly looked out the window. Sun family, Wang family, Jing family, Wu family, Lu family, Zhu family. Almost all the top families in the state capital are involved. This is a big game. Yunyang's expression became more helpless, and he said, and the power behind them is even more unimaginable. Not only are many families in Haoju involved, but even, it's estimated that it won't be long before they send experts here. Yeah. Chu Dongcheng's expression became calmer. It was as if he knew a violent storm was coming. What else? Do you still have hope for the Chu family? Yunyang shook his head. They are more ruthless than those families. Those families don't understand the inside story at all, they just want to get a piece of the pie, but the Chu family is different. They want to eat your flesh. Why? There was finally a ripple on Chu Dongcheng's calm face. It's heartache. You should have known the consequences of this incident. Yunyang sighed, I advised you at the beginning, but you just wouldn't listen. Now it has finally come true. I know. Chu Dongcheng nodded. There is no hope for Chujiang Group to turn things around, unless. A chill flashed across Yunyang's reserved eyes, and his voice became even colder, unless you allow me to wipe out all the powerful families involved, including the Chu family. No, that's not necessary. Chu Dongcheng shook his head slowly and said, "It was my own choice at the beginning, and I have no regrets." Good. Although Yun Yan was unwilling, he could only nod. "Since we are brothers, I will accompany you on this journey. At worst, we will both die and the net will be broken, and we can wander around the world again. What I am most worried about now is Xiao Yi." Chu Dongcheng lowered his voice and slowly turned his head to look towards the door. There was a figure swaying in the crack of the door. "Don't worry, they are not shameless enough to attack a child yet." Yun Yang also looked towards the door. "Besides, that kid knows nothing about the group and what we are doing." Not good. Discovered. Outside the door, Chu Yi heard footsteps coming from the study. He quickly turned and went into his room. Few tilde. After taking a few deep breaths, Chu Yi frowned. What on earth are my father and Uncle Yun doing? How could Chujian Group encounter such a crisis? Obviously, the situation of Chujian Group is more complicated than he thought. Almost all the powerful families in the provincial capital were involved, even the powerful families among the powerful families. A closer look. Chu Yi discovered that the Wang family and the Sun family were the vanguards in the entire Chujian Group incident. The Wu family and the Jing family continue to attack. The Zhu family and the Lu family are secretly making efforts. There are also the Zhu family, the Han family and others waiting for an opportunity to take action. They formed a layer-by-layer encirclement around the Chujian Group. It is true that business is like a battlefield, and if you are not careful you will be doomed. Not only do we need to break the deadlock, we also need to make plans. In that case, kill your vanguard first. Wang family. Then let us start with you. Chu Yi slowly looked out the window, and an extremely arrogant face flashed through his mind. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, outlining an arc of confidence. Then he picked up his phone and sent a message, "See you at 8 o'clock in the evening, at the old place." Then the phone vibrated and a message came back, 7:30 p.m., Central Square. Looking at the text message on his phone, Chu Yi raised his eyebrows. Is it an unfamiliar number? In the evening, Chu Dongcheng and Yun Yang just left. Chu Yi also went out, and the silver Lamborghini Aventador slowly disappeared into the night. Boom. The roar of the engine was heard. What Chu Yi didn't expect was that he was stopped as soon as he arrived at the central square. There was a huge crowd of people in front, and it was impossible to get through. The entire square is built into a huge stage. The stage setting is very beautiful. There were more than a dozen huge balloons flying in the sky. Dozens of sports cars on the ground formed a huge heart shape. The candle in the middle is already lit and the ribbons are flying. The lights gradually brightened. This is a confession ceremony. Chu Yi smiled after getting off the car. He has played this trick before. It's a bit corny, but very effective. Because I'm so proud. With dozens of luxury sports cars displayed, there are few beauties who would not be tempted. However, he discovered that the license plates of those dozens of luxury cars were not from the state capital, but mostly from Haoju and Modu. It's actually her? At this moment, a figure in the crowd in the distance caught Chu Yi's attention. Chapter 13 Confession Ceremony. Xin Wei. A figure who is as beautiful as the school belle of the state capital's aristocratic school. A top-notch, rich and beautiful lady. She had only transferred here for less than a month, but she had already amazed the entire school. Many people have even ranked her on par with the school's 3 most beautiful girls, and some even think that Xin Wei can completely squeeze out Liu Rongrong, one of the school's 3 most beautiful girls. Indeed, Xin Wei is very beautiful, with black stockings like a waterfall, a tall figure, beautiful cheeks, and eyes like autumn water. Even Chu Yi, who was used to seeing beautiful women, couldn't help but marvel at Xin Wei's stunning appearance. Xin Wei's life experience is very mysterious and few people know about it. There are just rumors that her identity is very unusual. It seems to be from the Magic City. Strictly speaking, although Chu Yi and Xin Wei knew each other, they did not have much contact. Because a month ago was when the Chujian Group crisis broke out. At this time, the lights on the square stage came on. A young man holding flowers appeared in the center of the light and became the focus of everyone. The man had an average appearance, a pale complexion, and was suffering from a deficiency of qi and blood. But the suit he wore looked very exquisite. Especially that proud look. He obviously is the young master of some big family or powerful force. Thank you all for stopping by. Today is the most important day in my life. The man in the center of the stage walked towards the crowd with a smile on his face and flowers in his hands. At the same time, Chu Yi in the crowd frowned. Chu Yi. Obviously, she had recognized the identity of the person, Chu Yi, the young master of the Dou family in Demon City. Wei, we meet again. This time I came here just for you. While Chu Yi was speaking, he had already come to Chu Yi with flowers in his hands. In the end, the two people were enveloped by the light. Became the focus of the whole audience. Pretty. It's so beautiful. Yes, she is really a goddess-level beauty. Under the lights, Chu Yi's skin was as white as cream and her face was as rosy as a rose, which caused bursts of exclamations. Wei, be my girlfriend. Chu Yi knelt on one knee, presented the rose with both hands, and said excitedly, I will treat you well for the rest of my life. So romantic. I'm so jealous. If someone confessed to me like this, I would nod and agree without hesitation. Chu Yi's actions caused screams. Many girls were so moved that they started crying. Promise him. Yes, promise him. Promise him. Gradually people began to cheer. Some people have even started live streaming online. Oh shit. No. Is it so grand? I missed the confession of the century. Yes. I lost a lot today. A goddess. It looks like our goddess is about to be taken away. On the internet, while many people were excited, some people recognized Chu Yi and couldn't help but feel heartbroken. We're not a good match. Suddenly, Chu Yi's cold words made the warm atmosphere freeze in an instant. Rejected. So direct. Not suitable. Chu Yi was also confused. He spent so much time and effort preparing for such a grand occasion, and ended up with something inappropriate. Isn't this a slap in his face in front of everyone in the city? Wei, don't joke. Chu Yi's face turned awkward. We are childhood sweethearts, how can it be inappropriate? Watch your words. Chu Yi's pretty face turned slightly cold and she turned around to leave. Because the parents of both sides had contact. At most, she and Chu Yi were just acquaintances. Moreover, Chu Yi has a bad reputation and is very fickle. Wei, it doesn't matter if you don't agree to me this time. There will be next time, and the next time, I will definitely. Shut up. Before Chu Yi could finish his words, Chu Yi stopped in her tracks with a gentle rebuke. Wei, did you promise me? Have you agreed to be my girlfriend? Chu Yi's face lit up with joy and he stood up quickly. You misunderstood. Chu Yi looked at Chu Yi with cold eyes, but she couldn't help feeling disgusted. What she hates most is pestering. This. Chu Yi became more and more confused and asked, what do you mean by this? I have a boyfriend, so don't bother me anymore. What? You have a boyfriend? How is this possible? Chu Yi's face was like the scorching June sun that instantly fell into the cold winter, and was covered with frost. I don't believe it. You don't have a boyfriend in Magic City. You've been in the state capital for less than a month. How could you have a boyfriend? You can just use this kind of words to deceive children. Chu Yi's hand holding the flower began to tremble, and he said, if you have the guts, let him out now. You? Chu Yi frowned and looked frosty. Har, I was right, wasn't I? Chu Yi suddenly laughed triumphantly. How could a goddess-level, rich, white beauty like Chu Yi fall for an ordinary person? No need to call, he's right here. Chu Yi glanced at Chu Yi with cold eyes. What? Right here. It's going to be a good show. The crowd watching became completely excited. Many people want to see who the goddess boyfriend is. Wei, don't just grab someone and say he's your boyfriend just to reject me. Chu Yi's face remained confident. It will be embarrassing if I can't even call out her name. Do you think I'm such a casual person? Chu Yi snorted softly, and her beautiful eyes slowly looked towards the crowd. This. Chu Yi had a bad feeling. I wipe. So melodramatic. Another bloody plot. But to be honest, if it were a movie, the beauty of the heroine alone is enough to carry the entire movie. After all, Chu Yi's stunning beauty is not just exaggerated. Chu Yi shook his head slightly. He really wanted to continue watching. At least we should take a look at what kind of person the boyfriend of a beauty of Chu Yi's level is. But, I have an appointment with someone. 8 o'clock. Seeing that the time was almost up, Chu Yi prepared to turn around and leave. His name is Chu Yi. Suddenly, a pleasant voice came from behind. Chu Yi stood there in a daze. Who else could this voice be other than Chu Yi? No, I don't believe it. You are lying to me. Dou Qi clenched the flowers in his hand and said angrily, there is no such person, right? You don't believe it. I can tell you slowly. A heartwarming smile appeared on Chu Yi's cold face as she slowly walked towards Chu Yi. A goddess is a goddess. This smile is enough to make many people fall in love with it. When many people were still marveling at Chu Yi's stunning appearance and charming smile, she spoke again. He is a student of the state capital's noble school, just like me. He is the young master of Chujian Group. The chairman of Chujian Group is Chu Doncheng, and his mother is Jiang Minute. Is this enough? If that's not enough, let me tell you, this week When Chu Yi told people about Chu Yi forcing Wan Long to drink hot pot soup in the school cafeteria, people exclaimed in surprise. Because a lot of people here heard about that. This. Dou Qi looked at the people around him again with an expression of disbelief. When the people around him nodded, he looked ashen. At this time, Chu Yi had already arrived in front of Chu Yi. Chapter 14, Unseen. Under the lights. Chu Yi looked at Chu Yi who was standing in front of him. Every detail on that beautiful face is so clear. So tempting. So. Chu Yi felt a bit overwhelmed. What is going on? Is he Chu Yi's boyfriend? Stop joking. How come he doesn't know it himself? Wow. Handsome, so handsome. Who is that person? It's so handsome. She is even prettier than a celebrity. When the bright spotlight hit Chu Yi's cheek, their whole audience was in an uproar. No wonder people say you have a boyfriend. I was wondering how that beautiful lady could choose such an ugly guy. There is absolutely no comparison between the two. That guy named Dou Qi is so ugly. Dou Qi's face turned completely dark as he listened to the discussions of the people around him. At the same time. Bite. Wang Hong's shock plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Favorability from Sun Hongxue plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Sun Peng plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Hu Wei plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. From. Bite. Ding ding. System prompt, the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into one godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are 22. Your current Shenhao points are 23. Your current Shenhao points are. Under the dazzling lights. Chu Yi was completely speechless as he looked at the beautiful face standing in front of him. The plot twist caught him off guard. Chu Yi's boyfriend. Before Chu Yi could adapt, he had already gained a wave of super rich points. That strange text message was sent by you. In an instant, Chu Yi understood. Chu Yi wants me to be her boyfriend. No, it's a shield. This plot is even more bloody. Never mind. Chu Yi didn't know why Chu Yi did this, but he was ready to turn around and leave. After all, he had unexpectedly gained a wave of rich points. And he and Chu Yi are not familiar with each other. If we stay any longer, something bad will probably happen. Over there, Dou Qi's face had turned green. However, before Chu Yi had time to turn around and leave, Chu Yi had already tiptoed slightly, pretending to be intimate and leaning over to his ear, and whispered softly, "Help me." This. Smelling the faint fragrance coming from Chu Yi. Chu Yi was a little embarrassed. If it were someone else, the goddess request alone would have been enough to make them lose their minds. Just once. Chu Yi's gentle voice came again. She already held Chu Yi's arm in an intimate manner. It's him. It turned out to be him. The young master of Chujian Group. The goddess boyfriend is actually the young master of the Chujian Group that is about to go bankrupt. Isn't Chujian Group about to go bankrupt? By this time, many people had recognized Chu Yi. Bite. Wang Ming's shock plus 30, plus 20, plus 10. The shock from Liu Wei plus 30, plus 20, plus 10. From. Bite. Ding ding. System prompt, the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into one godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are. Along with rays of light appearing in the sky above everyone's heads. Chu Yi gained a wave of emotional points and super rich points. This is a bit difficult. Because of Shen Wei, I gained 2 groups of super rich points. If I leave like this, it seems a bit hard to explain. So he is a poor young master. Although I have only been in the state capital for a few days, I am almost getting calluses from hearing about the Chujian group. How dare you snatch my girlfriend from me, Do Chi? Do you know Wei Wei's identity? It's not something a toad like you can covet. A sarcastic voice was heard, and Do Chi had already clenched his fists. Want to take action? A hint of contempt flashed across Chu Yi's melancholy eyes. Do it. Do Chi snorted coldly, you underestimate me too much. I never take action on problems that can be solved with money. It just so happens that I have this habit too. Chu Yi's voice became calm and confident. He gently pulled up Shen Wei's soft hand. You? Do Chi was so angry that his face turned dark green. He gritted his teeth and said, you dog, I'll give you 1 million. Leave Wei Wei. 1 million. Are you insulting me? Chu Yi snorted softly. Too little. Do Chi was a little proud. Well, I pity you, 2 million. Do you think I've ever seen money? Chu Yi shook his head slowly. Good. Do Chi became excited. As long as Chu Yi opens his mouth, there will be something to talk about. In that case, Shen Wei will become his woman sooner or later. 3 million, how about that? Is this the so-called rich kid from the Magic City? Chu Yi didn't even raise his eyelids, his expression was disdainful, nothing more than that. You? Do Chi gritted his teeth and said, 5 million. You are so petty and have never seen the world. Chu Yi shook his head slowly, making Do Chi's face red with anger. He gritted his teeth and said, 10 million. Just enough money for my car. Okay, you're cruel. Do Chi was considered a top playboy in the Magic City. He stretched out his hand and said, 50 million. I'll give you 50 million, get away from Wei Wei now. 50 million? Chu Yi looked at Do Chi with his melancholy and deep eyes, with a look of regret, and snorted, your vision is too narrow. Kid, don't go too far. Do Chi had the urge to go berserk. He felt that Chu Yi was too pretentious. 50 million. I estimate that 99.9% of the people present have never seen it in their lives. What exactly do you want? Do Chi asked angrily. Aren't you the young master of the Demon City? Aren't you rich? Chu Yi's melancholy face attracted everyone's attention. I want to see how arrogant the young master of the Demon City is. 100 million. Before Chu Yi finished speaking, Do Chi had already spoken. Good. Chu Yi nodded slightly, which made Do Chi look proud. However, his next sentence made Do Chi's face suddenly change. 100 million may be a lot for others, but for me. The corners of Chu Yi's sharp lips curled up slightly, revealing a look of disdain. It's just the price of a house. You? Do Chi gnashed his teeth, waved his hand, and said angrily, 500 million, I'll give you 500 million, you piece of shit, get out of Wei Wei's way right now. Wow. What? 500 million? How is this possible? Everyone was in complete uproar. Do Chi's face became proud again. He knew very well in his heart that Shen Wei's identity was worth more than 500 million. As long as I can marry Shen Wei in the future, let alone 500 million, even 50 billion would be worth it. Is 500 million a lot? I just casually spent 100 million today. Chu Yi's expression became more and more disapproving. If it were before, 500 million might have been a lot for me, but it is different now. Because of the system. Not to mention 500 million, even 5 billion is nothing in Chu Yi's eyes. 500 million, get out of here right now. When Do Chi's gloomy voice came out of his mouth, the entire square fell completely silent. Everyone held their breath and looked at Chu Yi. Chu Yi, what will you choose? Shen Wei's beautiful eyes slowly looked towards Chu Yi. The corners of her seductive lips curled up slightly, outlining cunning. Chapter 15. Her purpose is impure. Shen Wei knew very well in her mind that as a top playboy, Do Chi really dared to give Chu Yi 500 million. But will Chu Yi accept it? At this time, the entire network has exploded. Many people have begun to speculate whether Chu Yi will let go because of the 500 million. Yes or no? 2 factions were formed. Some people said that they would not give up love for money, especially when the other party is a goddess. Some people said that with 500 million, he could have as many goddesses as he wanted. Why? It looks like I'm going to harvest another wave of points from the rich. Under the light, Chu Yi felt helpless. Do Chi looks arrogant, but in fact he doesn't know that he had already lost when he met himself. Because what I need is not money at all. Why? A slight sigh was heard, and Chu Yi looked at Do Chi and said slowly, "You are not worthy of being Wei Wei's boyfriend." Wow. In an instant, the entire square was in an uproar. Handsome. So handsome. He actually chose love. I was so touched. Many girls even cried their hearts out. Bite. Touching feeling from Sun Mai plus 100. Touching feeling from Wang Xie plus 100. From. This time, everyone's emotions were maxed out. Bite. Ding ding. System prompt, the emotion value has reached 1000 and has been successfully converted into 1 godly rich point. Your current Shenhao points are. In the dark night sky, countless points of light converged towards Chu Yi. You? A hint of surprise appeared on Shen Wei's beautiful face. You, are you kidding me? Do Chi was furious. Playing tricks on you. Chu Yi simply ignored the angry Do Chi. The corners of his sharp-edged mouth curled up slightly, outlining an elegant arc. I'm just teasing you, what can you do about it? Love is priceless in my heart. Handsome, so handsome. I really want to marry you. Chu Yi, I love you. I want to bear you a child. This time the crowd was completely blown away. In the dark night sky, another wave of bright light gathered towards Chu Yi like a tide. The entire network was boiling. The stubborn resistance of the young master of the state capital. The fight with the top young masters in the magic city. The poor young master finally chose love. One post after another continued to become a hot topic. Let's go. Chu Yi simply ignored Do Chi's murderous look and everyone's astonished expressions, and pulled Shen Wei into the car. The two people walked away in the envious gazes of everyone. Boom. Boom boom. The roar of the engine continued. The silver Lamborghini Aventador kept shuttling across the night sky. Chu Yi, right? The young master of Chujian Group. Do you think this matter can just be let go? If you dare to steal my woman, I will let you know what it means to be worse off dead than alive. Do Chi's face turned grim as he clenched his fists, a gleam of cruelty flashing in his sinister eyes. In the car, Shen Wei looked at Chu Yi's handsome face with her beautiful eyes. From this angle it looks pretty good. Even more handsome than he looked from a distance that day in the cafeteria. Unconsciously, her sexy red lips curled up slightly, and her faint smile had a captivating charm. Tell me, how did you know all that information about me? Chu Yi's voice was calm. It was obvious that this was a draw tonight. What message? The information you told Do Chi about me today. Those ones. Shen Wei's long eyelashes lightly blinked, and a hint of cunning appeared at the corners of her lips. There is no need for me to collect information. Now the entire internet is full of information that Chujian Group is going bankrupt. Besides, you can understand everything just by looking at the official website of your Chujian Group. Chu Yi understood. Indeed, the Chujian Group is in a precarious situation now, and the information Shen Wei mentioned can be found on the internet. What about my phone number? Chu Yi said, you sent that message, right? You seem to have a good brother named Xiaopang, right? Shen Wei said with a smile, actually, he is a very nice person. Zhu Yi's face turned a little dark. In the aristocratic school, besides Sun Bo, he has several good brothers. Big Dog, Liang, him, Xiaopang. The fat boy Shen Wei mentioned is Zhu Yan, the old man. Unexpectedly, it was the fat guy who leaked his phone number. What is your purpose? Chu Yi didn't think Shen Wei really wanted to be her girlfriend. You look handsome, okay. Shen Wei had a smiling face, and she no longer looked like a cold goddess. Instead, she looked like a quirky little girl. Kai Kai. Suddenly there was a sudden sound of brakes. The silver Lamborghini Aventador stopped at the gate of a residential area. Blue sea and blue sky. A new super luxurious community in the state capital. It is said that the land prices there have surpassed those of the former old luxury villa area, Qingliushi town. Those who live here are all top nobles from the state capital or even Haoju. Now that you're here, don't say this kind of nonsense anymore. Because I'm handsome. Chu Yi didn't believe Shen Wei's excuse. And he felt that this incredibly beautiful woman next to him was very dangerous. Her purpose is not pure. Oh, well, since you don't believe me, there's nothing I can do. Shen Wei sighed helplessly, slowly got out of the car, and said, "But thank you for tonight, I owe you a favor. Goodbye." Chu Yi smiled calmly, as if nothing had happened. The Lamborghini Aventador has slowly started. Of course he wouldn't believe what Shen Wei said. Because he didn't receive any emotional value from Shen Wei the whole night. What is the purpose of approaching yourself? Chujian Group. A ray of starlight flashed across Chu Yi's deep eyes. He understood. The only company that could allow a beauty like Shen Wei to approach him deliberately should be the Chujian Group. But he didn't understand that the Chujian Group was at most a group worth tens of billions and was now heavily in debt. Not to mention, compared with those big groups in Modu, even compared with those big groups in Haodu, they are far behind. According to him, the Shen family is also a big family in Shanghai. Is it necessary for Shen Wei to do this? Forget it, I don't want to think about it anymore. In the car, Chu Yi looked at the time. It's a little late now. I definitely can't go as I promised to that guy. However, the rich man is going to have a big outburst tonight. He was going to go back quickly to draw the lottery. What can resist the temptation of a lucky draw? He wanted to see what kind of prizes the system could bring him. I hope it's not too bad. Boom. The roar of the engine was heard. The silver Lamborghini Aventador gradually disappeared into the night. At the same time, the door to the blue sea and blue sky. What a smart guy. Looks like he's noticed it. Shen Wei looked at the figure disappearing into the night, and a faint smile appeared on her beautiful face. "Miss." The voice came, and an old man with grey hair and a restrained aura appeared beside Shen Wei. Chapter 16 First Prize Draw. The night is getting darker. Shen Wei watched the silver Lamborghini Aventador gradually disappear into the night, not paying any attention to the old man who appeared beside her. "Miss." The old man spoke slowly, his voice not loud. "Do Chi will not give up." "So what?" Shen Wei's cold tone carried a hint of disdain. "Just an idiot. The Chujian Group is already in a precarious situation, and there are many people eyeing that piece of meat." The old man's eagle-like eyes flashed with a gleam of light, as if hiding something, and said, "If you pull that kid in now, your seemingly unintentional action may harm him." "Mr. Jin, how many people are watching the Chujian Group now?" Shen Wei frowned, causing the old man to be stunned. A moment later, the old man's eyes were sharp, and he said, "The Chujian Group is not only involved with the families in the state capital, but also many powerful families in the north. There may be even more powerful forces involved. Mr. Jin, you also know that there are many people eyeing the Chujian Group now, but they are all behind the scenes and have not surfaced. At the same time, you should be more aware that if Chu Dongcheng was easy to deal with, based on the character of that group of people, they would have destroyed the Chujian Group long ago. But they didn't destroy it." Shen Wei opened her red lips slightly. "Instead of looking for a breakthrough from the Chujian Group like those people, it is better to look for a breakthrough from Chu Yi. Hey, this matter is getting more and more involved." Jinbo sighed slightly. Not only the families in Demon City were involved, but he was afraid that the families in Dragon City would also get involved in the future. The situation will be different then. Jinbo. Shen Wei's charming eyes were full of curiosity. "What is behind the Chujian Group?" "I don't know the details, but Chu Dongcheng and the others should have something very important in their hands." The old man snorted, his eyes becoming somewhat defiant. "That small family in the state capital has no idea of the power behind this matter. They were just taken advantage of because of their own greed. Even you don't know." Shen Wei's pretty face was startled. She knew that the old man had a high status in the Shen family. Things that even he didn't know. It seems that the Chujian Group is indeed extraordinary. Qingliushi Town. Villa number 18. When Chu Yi came back, he saw Jiang Min's car was still there, but there was no sound in the house. He must have fallen asleep accompanying Yanga. Chu Yi did not disturb them, but quietly went up to the room on the second floor. System. Chu Yi could no longer contain his excitement. After entering the room, a dazzling light curtain appeared in front of him. Super Rich System, 1. Level 5 Rich Man. Amount, 10 billion.0010 billion. Emotional value, 761 M. Super rich points, 70. Strength, 15. Chi and blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 20. Lottery. Hide. Level 5 rich man. 10 billion in funds. 70 super rich points. 761 emotional points. When Chu Yi saw the numbers on the dazzling light screen, he almost jumped up with excitement. Hundreds of billions of funds. Even when he was the young master of Chujian Group, he never had so much money. Chu Yi knew very well how much this money could buy. Many people don't know this now, and they may still think that he is a poor young master. The corners of Chu Yi's sharp-edged mouth curled up slightly, revealing a hint of cunning. The funding gap of Chujian Group is only 40 billion. As long as the godly rich system is upgraded to the 6th level and reaches godly rich level, the funds can reach 100 billion. At that time, the crisis of Chujian Group will be resolved. But Chu Yi always had a feeling that the crisis of Chujian Group could not be solved with just 40 billion. Even families like the Shen family from the Magic City were involved. I'm afraid the problem is very unusual. But no matter what, I believe that the crisis of Chujian Group will definitely pass. A hint of confidence and excitement appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. Next comes the exciting lottery moment. The reason why he didn't use up the 21 godly rich points contributed by Chu Sheng was to accumulate 50 godly rich points before drawing the lottery. I didn't expect to earn 49 super rich points this time. I have a total of 70 points of super rich points. Chu Yi slowly reached out and clicked the lottery button on the bright light screen in front of him. Bite. A crisp sound was heard, and the system prompted, "The lottery will consume 50 godly points, do you want to continue?" Continue. Chu Yi's slender fingers gently pressed the continue button. Swish. The light curtain of the Shenhouse system burst out with a brilliant light. 50 points of super rich disappeared above. Wait until the bright light gradually disappears. Bite. The system's voice came again, "Congratulations to the host for obtaining a disguise mask." Disguise mask? Chu Yi saw a palm-sized mask floating in the air in front of him. I don't know what material the mask is made of, but it shines like silk and emits a layer of silver light, looking very gorgeous. Chu Yi touched the mask floating in the air and felt a slightly cool sensation. After he put the mask on his face, he looked in the mirror. The entire mask fit his face perfectly, without a single flaw. And his appearance had changed. Before, his appearance was handsome with a hint of melancholy, like a poet. He still looks handsome now. But his cheeks became more and more tough, his eyebrows were sharp and his eyes were bright, giving people a feeling of determination. The most important thing is that there is no trace of his previous self left. Chu Yi then took off the disguise mask with a wave of his hand. His appearance returned to normal. That's great. Chu Yi was completely excited holding the disguise mask in his hand. With the disguise mask, his plan can be implemented perfectly. At the same time, City Center. Xuanyang Tower. A huge high-rise building built on the mountain and facing the river. Although this is not a landmark building in the state capital, no one dares to underestimate it. Because there are many hidden dragons and crouching tigers here, and behind them stands a big boss of the state capital's underground world. At this time, two figures appeared at the entrance of Xuanyang Tower. A young boy. He has an average appearance and a pale complexion. But the exquisite suit he was wearing showed that he was of extraordinary status. This person is Do Qi, the young master of the Do family in Demon City. Behind him was a middle-aged man with great momentum and reserved brilliance. "Master Do, you are here." The master is waiting in the backyard. A moment later, a waiter came to the door and led the two through the bustling front building toward the back. The path is deep and secluded. The lights are bright. After a while, they arrived at a bamboo forest. There is a pavilion in the bamboo forest. Sitting in the pavilion was an old man in a long gown, with silver hair and eyes as sharp as lightning. If anyone recognizes it, they will be surprised. This person was none other than Li Chang, a big boss of the underground forces in the state capital, also known as Master Li. Chapter 17. Follow me from now on. The night grows darker. Xuanyang Tower. Inside the Fenyu Pavilion. Do Qi's figure has disappeared. A burly middle-aged man with a scar on his face came up to Li Chang. "Go check out that guy from Chujian Group and bring him back after destroying him." After Li Chang finished speaking, his figure disappeared, leaving only the middle-aged man with a strange expression. It seems that Li Chang and Do Chi have already agreed on the terms. Chu Yi is going to be in trouble next. 2 days later in the morning. In front of the state capital's aristocratic school. Boom. The roar of the engine was heard. A silver Lamborghini Aventador attracted everyone's attention. What amazed many people was the handsome face with a hint of hesitation as he got out of the car. Chu Yi. It's really him. Have you heard? Sun Bo is back. The move Chu Yi made in the cafeteria to fill Wang Long with hot pot soup was really beautiful, but I don't know how Sun Bo fought back. Don't worry, Sun Bo is known for his vengeance, and he will probably take action soon. Many people looked at Chu Yi and started talking. It was obvious that they felt that things would not end like this. Sun Bo? We used to be good brothers. It's just that the two people's levels are different now. The corners of Chu Yi's angular mouth curled up slightly, and a calm and confident arc slowly emerged. He slowly disappeared from everyone's sight. In the classroom. The third one. Not long after Chu Yi sat down, an excited voice was heard. A little fat boy walked into the classroom with a school bag on his back, attracting a lot of people's attention. Chu Yi couldn't help but frown when he saw the excited smile on the little fat boy's face. It was this guy who gave his phone number to Shin Wei. He had several good brothers in school, and Sun Bo was one of them. There are 3 more, Big Dog, Liang and the little fat guy Zhu Yang. Because the school dormitories are luxurious double rooms with only 2 people in one room. This little fat guy is his roommate. As for Dagu and Liang, they are 2 brothers who live in the dormitory next door. But the 2 guys have houses outside, so they don't spend much time in school. In fact, everyone knows very well that any student who can attend an aristocratic school has some connections. Maybe many people here have already had their families arrange their future before they graduate. Those who should go to college will go, and those who should go abroad will go abroad. Zhu Yang's family owns a factory. I heard that his father had already found a job for him so that he could go abroad as soon as he graduated. Wow, third brother, you are so awesome. You actually poured hot pot soup into Wang Long's mouth. Just listening to it makes me feel so fucking satisfied. The little fat boy threw his school bag on the desk, sat down next to Chu Yi, and said excitedly, "It's a pity that I didn't see it. I talked about this matter with Liang on the phone yesterday. It was really f-king relieved. Liang also said that's how we should deal with him. I've disliked that bastard for a long time. How about we give him another shot?" The little fat man danced with joy as he spoke. "Don't worry, I will do it myself this time. I guarantee that Wang Long will be so scolded that he won't be able to get out of bed for a month. This kid is definitely a man who likes to watch the fun and is not afraid of trouble." Chu Yi had a black line on his head and asked, "Where are Liang and Dagu?" "Big Dog has returned to Jiangcheng. That bastard Liang said he will be back at noon today." Zhu Yang was a little depressed when he saw Chu Yi didn't respond to his proposal. "How about we have lunch together at noon?" "Forget it, I have something to do at noon." Chu Yi shook his head slowly. He should have made some plans to save Chujian Group, so he said, "Please ask for a leave for me this afternoon." "You're leaving right after Liang came back?" Zhu Yang's chubby little face showed some dissatisfaction, but he finally nodded helplessly. What Chu Yi didn't expect was that the accident happened before he left the classroom at noon after school. Old 3, something bad has happened. Something bad has happened. The fat boy Zhu Yang had gone to find Liang for dinner, but he ran back panting not long after he left, shouting, "Liang, that bastard Sun Bo and his men have blocked us at the stairs." "Sun Bo? Moving so fast. You really didn't disappoint me." A cold light flashed imperceptibly in Chu Yi's starry eyes. This seems to be Sun Bo's style of doing things. "Let's go and take a look." Chu Yi said this and left the classroom with Zhu Yang. Before the two of them reached the stairs, an arrogant voice came, "Liang, I didn't expect that we would meet here. It seems that your path is getting narrower and narrower." "Sun Bo. It's him indeed." A burly guy with sinister eyes in the crowd blocked the stairs with 4 other people. He is none other than Sun Bo, the famous playboy in the state capital and the young master of the Sun family. Next to Sun Bo is a beautiful woman with a plump figure and a pure and lovely appearance. She is one of the 3 campus beauties in the aristocratic school and also Chu Yi's ex-girlfriend Liu Rongrong. Blocking the two men was a tall, handsome guy wearing a basketball uniform. It was Erliang. Humph, you scum who seduced my sister-in-law. Although Erliang was surrounded by 5 people, his momentum was not weak at all. He looked at Sun Bo and Liu Rongrong with even more disdain. You two dogs, have you forgotten how Chu Yi treated you in the past? Erliang, how dare you talk to me like that? Do you want to die? Sun Bo snorted coldly. If I hadn't seen him as the young master of the Chujian group, would I have followed him? Now he is just a poor young master, not even worthy of carrying my shoes. I'm going to give you a chance today. How about you follow me from now on? Bar. Erliang spat fiercely and said sarcastically, You are a beast, how dare you say such words to me, Erliang? It seems that you don't want to drink the toast, so you have to drink the punishment. Sun Bo had a cold smile on his face. In that case, don't blame me for not remembering our friendship. Do you think Chu Yi will come to save you this time? You guessed it right. You beat 5 of us by yourself. You guessed wrong. There are 5 of us fighting against you alone. Har har. Har ha har har. How about it? Is my suggestion good? Sun Bo laughed arrogantly. The people behind him also showed smug smiles on their faces. Fuck, if you dare to touch me, I'm not someone you can mess with. Erliang knew that Sun Bo came prepared today, and a fierce look flashed in his eyes. Even if he was beaten today, he would not let these people have an easy time. Your target should be me, right? Suddenly, a voice came from the crowd, and the smiles on Sun Bo and others' faces slowly froze. A handsome face appeared in everyone's eyes. Chu Yi. It's really him. He's really handsome. When Chu Yi appeared, many people started whispering. Even many girls couldn't help but marvel when they saw his handsome face. Chapter 18 True Brothers. Chu Yi. It turned out to be Chu Yi. It's really him. The young master who is going bankrupt. Why do I feel that he is more handsome than the legend says? The moment Chu Yi appeared, he became the focus of everyone's attention. Especially his pair of slightly melancholy eyes made many girls' hearts tremble. Even. Bite. Favorability from Wang Mai, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Favorability from Li Xia, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Liu Linlin, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Favorability from Liang Shuang, plus 80, plus 50, plus 30. From. Unconsciously, Chu Yi had gained a wave of emotional value. Then those bright eyes slowly looked towards the opposite side. Sun Bo. Liu Rongrong. Wang Long. They are all old friends. A faint smile appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face that made many girls' hearts flutter. Sun Bo, long time no see. Chu Yi really didn't expect that you would actually dare to come. Sun Bo held Liu Rongrong in his arms with an arrogant and complacent look. Sun Bo, you. Liu Rongrong's innocent little face was startled and a little shy. However, she struggled symbolically and then let Sun Bo hold her in his arms. He seemed very satisfied with Liu Rongrong's obedience. This woman has been completely tamed by him. Why not? Chu Yi still had a gentle smile on his face. As if he didn't care about Sun Bo's actions at all, he said, Rely on those few losers behind you. Chu Yi, I really didn't expect this. I am very surprised by your change. There was a cold flash in Sun Bo's eyes. He didn't expect Chu Yi to be so calm when facing him and Liu Rongrong together. This didn't fit in with his plan. He wanted to irritate Chu Yi. But he didn't know that Chu Yi was different now than before. Ever since Chujian Group announced its bankruptcy, Chu Yi has experienced all their ups and downs in life. He now knows more clearly what is the most precious thing to him in this world. Obviously Liu Rongrong was no longer in there. Maybe you'll be more surprised today. Chu Yi's voice was calm without a trace of ripples, like a chat between two old friends who hadn't seen each other for many years, but many people had already sensed that a storm was coming. Then I'd like to see it. Sun Bo's face was grim, and he responded sharply, I was away for a few days, and you made such a big fuss, and even injured Wang Long. How are you going to settle this account? You really haven't made any progress at all. Chu Yi looked at Sun Bo with a disappointed look on his face. If you want to settle accounts with me, just say so. Why are you making so many troubles? It's the same for everyone. We are all brothers. Sun Bo did not hide it at all. That was his plan. besiege Erliang and wait for Chu Yi. If Chu Yi doesn't come, beat Erliang up and then spread the word that Chu Yi is a coward and a coward who didn't help. If Chu Yi dared to come, he would first get intimate with Liu Rongrong in front of everyone to discuss Chu Yi, and then beat up the two of them. Since we are brothers, don't say that I don't give you face. Sun Bo showed a sinister smile on his face. I can give you a chance, crawl under my crotch like a dog, and everything that happened before will be written off. Sun Bo, you are such a beast. Erliang was so angry at Sun Bo's words that he clenched his fists and was about to attack. The fat boy Zhu Yarn couldn't help it anymore, he clenched his fists in anger. Sun Bo, actually. Chu Yi's expression gradually turned cold. I really don't want to argue with you about the past, but you are getting a little too far. I'm just pushing my feet, what can you do about it? Sun Bo shouted arrogantly, weren't you very awesome at the beginning? Young master of Chujian Group, come here. You're a piece of shit. How dare you say such things to me now? I'm going to make it so hard for you to stay in school. Since you don't want to crawl into my crotch, I'll force you to crawl into it. Sun Bo was like a hungry wolf, shouting at the guys behind him, drag Chu Yi over here. Song Peng, Zhang Lin. The fat boy Zhu Yarn's face changed when he saw the two people behind Sun Bo. They are members of the school Sonder team. Third brother, I'll hold you back. You and Zhu Yarn go first. Erliang's expression was solemn. Although he is a member of the basketball team, he has no chance of winning against either Song Peng or Zhang Lin. What's more, there are two now. Don't worry, I can still deal with these two pieces of trash. Erliang's words touched Chu Yi a little. This is what true brothers are. But he didn't expect that the smile that appeared inadvertently on his face would attract cheers from the girls again. Don't worry. Erliang wanted to say a few more words, but Chu Yi patted his shoulder and stood out. That's okay. Erliang secretly clenched his fists. Once he found out that Chu Yi was no match for Song Peng and Zhang Lin, he would take action immediately. Okay, Chu Yi, you are really crazy. Do you want to roll over and get into Sun Bo's crotch yourself or let us do it? Song Peng and Zhang Lin crossed their arms over their chests with a joking look on their faces. I'm sorry. If Sun Gan were here, maybe you could say that, but you too. Chu Yi looked indifferent, but his starry eyes were full of confidence. You are such a waste. Chu Yi, you want to die. A cold light flashed in Song Peng and Zhang Lin's eyes. Both of them took on a gloomy breath and reached out to grab at the same time. Broken. Song Peng and Zhang Lin took action. They feel so strong. Will Chu Yi be in danger? The crowd looked intently at Song Peng and Zhang Lin. They felt that the two men were full of momentum and their moves were well organized, and they did not seem to be just showing off at all. Many beauties looked at Chu Yi even more nervously. They couldn't bear to see Chu Yi get hurt. I told you two that you two are trash in front of me, since you don't believe me. Facing two people who stretched out their hands at the same time from the left and right, a starlight flashed in Chu Yi's bright eyes, and he slowly stretched out his hands to grab the wrists of the two people. His speed was not fast, but it left Song Peng and Zhang Lin nowhere to hide. Par par. Two slight sounds were heard, and Song Peng and Zhang Lin didn't even have time to react before their hands were grabbed by Chu Yi. Chu Yi grabbed their wrists and applied a little force. A sharp pain spread from the arms of both men, and Song Peng and Zhang Lin's faces changed completely. My hand is going to break. The two men howled in pain and fell to their knees in front of Chu Yi. Wow. No. What's going on? Am I seeing this correctly? What happened to Song Peng and Zhang Lin? Aren't they from the Sonder team? How can you be so weak? In an instant, the crowd was completely stunned. They looked at Chu Yi's calm and handsome face with an incredible expression. Chapter 19. Get out of here. Conquer with one move. Then kneel down. How did Chu Yi do it? Magic. Many people are very confused. Even Song Peng and Zhang Lin didn't understand what kind of opponent they were facing. Chu Yi has perfectly combined the speed and strength he added to the Shenhao system panel. Chu Yi is so handsome. Yeah, I love him to death. Chu Yi, I love you. Many girls simply think that Chu Yi is very handsome now. Their eyes were full of little stars. Then. Bite. The system's voice came, admiration from Zhang Huan, plus 50, 30, plus 20. Admiration from Sun Wenwen, plus 50, 30, plus 20. Admiration from Yang Chaoyun, plus 50, 30, plus 20. Admiration from Wang Hui, plus 50, 30, plus 10. Admiration from Liu Jiaojiao, plus 60, 40, plus 10. Admiration from Wu Yun, plus 50, plus 40, plus 10. Bright rays of light rose from above everyone's heads and headed towards Chu Yi. He naturally harvested a wave of emotional value. Even. When did the third brother become so good at fighting? Admiration from Zhu Yang, plus 50, 30, plus 20. Surprise from Erlian, plus 50, 30, plus 20. These two guys. Chu Yi looked at the confused Zhu Yang and Erliang and shook his head helplessly, then looked at Sun Bo. You dare to come to me because of these two losers, right? It seems that the two of them are not enough. You? Sun Bo's face looked grim. It was a bad idea. When did this bastard Chu Yi become so powerful? Sun Bo, I never intended to cause you any trouble, even though you betrayed me at the most critical moment. Do you know why? Because we are different. But you keep causing trouble for me. I think it's time to understand the grudge between us. Of course it's not because I want to take revenge on you, but... The corners of Chu Yi's sharp-edged mouth curled up slightly, revealing an elegant smile. It's to prevent you from thinking that I can't fight now. Okay, what the third brother said is good. Well said, Chu Yi. Awesome, really awesome. These words make my blood boil. Before Chu Yi finished speaking, Zhu Yang and many others started to applaud excitedly. You bastards. Sun Bo's face turned black with anger, and when he saw Chu Yi coming towards him, he couldn't help but feel a little panicked. He felt that Chu Yi had changed. It became strange and frightening to him. The pair of melancholy eyes before became deep and cold. This made him involuntarily take 2 steps back and asked, Chu Yi, what do you want to do? You planned to block Erliang just to lure me here, and now you ask me what I want to do. An elegant smile appeared on Chu Yi's handsome face. Sun Bo, you have become stupid. Chu Yi, you dare to touch me. Sun Bo had lost his previous composure and cunningness, and instead became somewhat furious. You think I don't dare? Is it the Sun family that you rely on? You think you are the young master of the Sun family, so I dare not touch you, right? But, it's unfortunate. The elegant smile on Chu Yi's face gradually disappeared and turned weird. The Sun family is just a family that barely made it into the 10 billion family. In my eyes now, it is nothing. Par. The moment Chu Yi's voice fell, a loud slap landed on Sun Bo's face without any warning. R. Sun Bo screamed, frightened by the sudden situation. His whole body trembled, and he sat down directly on the stairs. A bright red slap mark appeared on his cheek, and a trace of blood had seeped from the corner of his mouth. Okay, that's a good slap. It's awesome. It's such a great fight. This beast who is worse than pigs and dogs should be beaten to death. Erliang and Zhu Yang's words drew applause. Many people also can't stand Sun Bo's arrogant style. In particular, he betrayed his brother at the most critical moment and seduced his eldest sister-in-law. Chu Yi, what do you want to do? At this time, something unexpected happened. Liu Rongrong opened her arms and stood in front of Sun Bo, saying, You can't hurt him. Can't hurt him. Chu Yi raised his eyebrows and his voice turned cold. Give me a reason, why? This. Liu Rongrong was a little speechless. Because of you? Chu Yi said slowly. Sun Bo is my boyfriend now. Liu Rongrong bit her red lips and said, For the sake of our past, please don't hurt him. Wow. Liu Rongrong's words caused an uproar among the crowd. The ex-girlfriend pleaded for her current boyfriend. This is so fucking ridiculous. It's exciting enough. Many people became excited. They all looked at Chu Yi, wanting to know what Chu Yi would do next. Before. You dare to talk to me about the past. Why didn't you mention the past when he asked me to get into his crotch just now? Now you're telling me about the past. Chu Yi had a faint smile on his face, but his voice was very calm. Liu Rongrong, can you tell me something? What's the matter? Liu Rongrong was a little confused. Tell me, who are you in front of me? Chu Yi snorted coldly, the chill piercing his bones. Chu Yi, you. Liu Rongrong's face turned red, but she couldn't refute. That's right, who are you? You bitch. Erliang and Zhu Yang were very angry. Have you forgotten what Chu Yi did to you before? How dare you beg for Sunbo now? Zhu Yarn clenched his fists in anger. Before, Chu Yi treated Liu Rongrong so well that they were all envious, but they didn't expect that at the critical moment, Chu Yi would be betrayed by Liu Rongrong. She's one of the 3 most beautiful girls on campus. I think it's just a joke. That's right, I feel that Liu Rongrong is tarnishing the reputation of the school beauty. What a bitch. Many of the onlookers knew about Liu Rongrong's situation and were very disgusted with her, so they started talking about her. You guys. Liu Rongrong felt so ashamed of what she said. Liu Rongrong, I don't hit women, but that doesn't mean you can act recklessly in front of me. Chu Yi slowly lowered his head, his star-like eyes looked down at Liu Rongrong with a cold chill, and slowly uttered a few words, get out. R. Liu Rongrong was frightened by the cold aura emanating from Chu Yi, and trembled all over, and sat down on the ground with a thud. Sunbo, it's your turn now. Chu Yi glanced at Liu Rongrong with disgust for the last time, then reached out to grab Sunbo by the collar. No. No. Chu Yi, you bastard. Sunbo was very angry at Chu Yi's highly insulting behavior. Is Sunbo a fool? Can't he dodge? Does Chu Yi look down on him so much? But what he didn't expect was that an accident happened. Chapter 20 An Elegant Devil. Sunbo wanted to dodge Chu Yi's hand that was stretched out towards him. The unexpected still happened to him. His dodging speed could not keep up with Chu Yi's attack speed. Almost in an instant, Chu Yi grabbed his neck like a chicken. Chu Yi, you bastard, let me go. Sunbo's face turned red from holding back his anger, and he was extremely angry. That's a bit insulting. Doesn't he Sunbo have any respect? How is he going to survive in the future if Chu Yi treats him like this? Are you overthinking this? Before Sunbo could resist, Chu Yi's angular mouth corners slightly raised, revealing an elegant smile. But the strength in his hands did not decrease at all. Well. Sunbo felt suffocated. What do you want to do? He opened his mouth wide, trying hard to catch his breath. I have a few words to tell you, but I'm afraid you don't understand. You were my brother before, so it's okay for you to play a little trick on me. If you dare to provoke me again in the future, you will pay the price. But you have to think about it first. This price is too high for you, not to mention the Sun family. Chu Yi patted Sunbo's blushing cheeks with a kind look and asked, do you understand what I said? You? Par. Sunbo was struggling to speak when Chu Yi slapped him in the face. R. Sunbo screamed in pain after being beaten. You what? Chu Yi shook his hands lightly, still with that elegant smile on his face, but his voice became cold. I asked you if you understood. Where the hell did you get such nonsense from? Does talking too much nonsense make you look smarter? Or did you not understand what I said? Do you want to threaten me with the Sun family? Ming, I understand. A hint of panic appeared in Sunbo's eyes. Demon. At this moment, Chu Yi was an elegant devil in his eyes. He not only has a calm and elegant demeanor, but also the fierce aura of a superior. Being able to perfectly combine calm elegance with a fierce aura, perhaps only Chu Yi can do it now. I understand. Chu Yi let go of Sunbo, clapped his hands elegantly, and said, remember, if you dare to plot against me again in the future, you will not be as lucky as you are now. Even if Sun Weiji comes, I will not care about you. You? Sunbo's face was filled with anger, but he didn't dare to speak again. Sun Weiji is his father. Let's go. At this time, Chu Yi was too lazy to look at Sunbo again. He turned around and smiled at Erliang and the little fat man. In an instant, the ice on his handsome face disappeared, replaced by a sunny smile. Wow, so handsome. He is really handsome. Chu Yi's smile is so charming. Many girls in the crowd began to exclaim. Countless little stars appeared in the eyes of many people. Chu Yi, what are you doing? At this moment, a figure appeared at the stairs, and everyone was stunned. That person has a beautiful face and excellent temperament. The commanding presence makes one feel as if a fairy has descended upon the earth. It's her. It's really her. Many people felt it was unreal when they looked at Shenwei's beautiful face. Goddess. An absolute goddess. No one is more suitable to be called goddess than Shenwei, not even Liu Rongrong. At this time, Liu Rongrong and Shenwei formed a sharp contrast. Shenwei has a natural and perfect appearance. There was a hint of loss on Liu Rongrong's face. In terms of appearance, Shen Wei is the winner. The temperament is even more overwhelming. Shen Wei was like a banished fairy who had descended to earth. Liu Rongrong, on the other hand, looked a bit more vulgar, more like a maid in a secular family. I think the only ones who can compare with her are the other two beauties in the school, right? Why are you here? Chu Yi didn't care about everyone's surprise at all, and his expression was calm when he looked at Shen Wei. We're going to have dinner, do you want to join us? Shen Wei's smiling face makes people feel like they are in the spring breeze and full of yearning. What? Shen Wei actually wants to invite Chu Yi to dinner. Oh my god, how is this possible? Didn't Shen Wei just come to school not long ago? How did they know each other? And what is their relationship? Chu Yi moves so fast. Many people felt that Shen Wei and Chu Yi had an unusual relationship after listening to their conversation. No, it's very unusual. The little fat boy Zhu Yang looked very proud. He knew that Shen Wei had asked him for Chu Yi's phone number before. Fuck, third brother, you are still the best. Liang even whispered in Chu Yi's ear, this can all be done. Well. Chu Yi felt a bit overwhelmed. This guy obviously misunderstood. Maybe next time. Chu Yi shook his head and left with Zhu Yang and Liang. He didn't want to get too close to Shen Wei. I always feel that this woman is special. This beauty is really beautiful, and not just ordinary beautiful. But if anyone looks down on her because of her beauty, the consequences will probably be disastrous. What? Rejected? No. Chu Yi's words made everyone's jaw drop. This guy. Shen Wei smiled sweetly, then slowly turned and left. At the stairs, only the completely confused people were left, and Sun Bo, who felt a little choked up in his chest. He went through great pains to get Liu Rongrong, thinking that he could use this opportunity to stomp on Chu Yi's face. But I didn't expect. I never expected this. This time he was completely screwed. This is a huge loss of face. Sun Bo, are you okay? Liu Rongrong felt a little disappointed. She thought she still had a place in Chu Yi's heart. However, she only just realized that it was gone. Even when Chu Yi left, he didn't even look at her. Of course I'm fine, you bitch. Sun Bo glared at Liu Rongrong unhappily. I thought that with Liu Rongrong, even if he lost, he wouldn't lose too badly. But in the end, Shen Wei actually showed up. The relationship between Shen Wei and Chu Yi made him feel like vomiting blood. Looking at Liu Rongrong in front of him, he felt as if he had picked up something that Chu Yi didn't want and was treating it as a treasure and feeling smug about it. Clown. At this moment, Sun Bo felt like he was a clown and was completely defeated in front of Chu Yi. Chu Yi, just wait for me. If I let you live comfortably in school, I wouldn't be called Sun Bo. Sun Bo stood up from the ground, clenched his fists angrily and rushed into the crowd. In a short while, his figure disappeared. Sun Bo, you. Looking at Sun Bo leaving, mist filled Liu Rongrong's eyes. She was very sad. After dating Chu Yi for 2 years, they had never crossed the line. However, she had only been dating Sun Bo for more than a month when she gave him the most precious thing. Just now, for Sun Bo, she did not hesitate to stand in front of Chu Yi. But what about Sun Bo? Liu Rongrong finally understood. Sun Bo didn't really like her, but wanted to hit Chu Yi by getting her. Chapter 21. Are you planning to keep pestering me? At the school gate. Under the dazzling sunshine. Chu Yi raised his head slowly. A ray of starlight flashed in those melancholy and deep eyes. A bright curtain of light appeared in front of him. Super Rich System, 1. Level 5 Rich Man. Amount, 10 billion.0010 billion. Emotional value, 12. Super Rich Points, 39. Strength, 15. Chi and Blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 20. Lottery. Hide. Level 5 Rich Man. An amount of 10 billion. Although the level and amount on the Super Rich panel have not changed, the emotion value and Super Rich points have changed. In today's wave, Sun Bo contributed 19 Super Rich points to himself invisibly. Anyone who wants to step on you will become a stepping stone for your rise. Feel free to contribute some Shenhao points to yourself. This brought a confident smile to Chu Yi's handsome face. The disguise mask had been put on his face inadvertently. His face changed. Although he has less scholarly temperament than before, he has more resoluteness. This made Chu Yi very satisfied. There are two things to do next. The first is to recruit troops and implement his plan to save the Chujian group. This matter must be done in secret. The second is the distribution of super rich points. Lottery. Chu Yi shook his head slightly. Although the disguise mask is very good, but it's a bit too extravagant to draw a prize every 50 points. And now I have 39 super rich points. He decided to hold back and wait until 100 rich people clicked on it to open the hidden function. Just thinking about it makes me look forward to it. Then let us use another identity to start the plan to save Chujian group. Chu Yi raised his handsome face and looked at a tall building not far away, on which were hung for big characters, Qingye Hotel. One of the most luxurious 5-star hotels in the state capital. I'm here today not just to eat, but also for someone. A beautiful lady to be exact. A beautiful figure emerged in Chu Yi's mind. The angular corners of his mouth rose unconsciously. Li Bingqing. She was a beauty who was just as pretty as Shen Wei. A true goddess level. He is currently the manager of Aober Hotel. Chu Yi had met her several times before anything happened at Chujian Group. The two parties did not speak to each other, so they did not know each other. It can be said that Li Bingqing did not know him, but he was quite familiar with Li Bingqing. Speak of the devil and he will appear. At this time, a beautiful figure appeared in the distance. The figure was tall and attractive, wearing a tight and stylish professional suit, appearing capable and elegant. Especially the delicate face is eye-catching. It was Li Bingqing. She was holding a briefcase in her hand and heading towards the Aober Hotel across the street. Sudden. A sloppy yellow-haired man appeared in front of her. When Wang Mao passed by her, he pretended to accidentally bump into Li Bingqing's shoulder. R. Li Bingqing screamed, and before she could react, the yellow-haired man quickly took out a wallet from her pocket. Snap. A faint sound was heard. The moment the yellow-haired man succeeded, he handed the wallet in his hand to the bald man coming from the opposite direction. The two people exchanged glances. They nodded to each other tacitly and went their separate ways. Perfect fit. Perfect transfer. It can be said that the two people cooperated perfectly, but it was unfortunate. Chu Yi saw all of this. Chu Yi took a quick step, stretched out his hand to support Li Bingqing who was about to fall, and asked, "Are you okay? Are you in the sunshine?" Li Bingqing looked at the handsome face that suddenly appeared and felt a little nervous. She quickly shook her head and said, "No, it's okay. I'm glad you're okay." Chu Yi nodded slightly, blocking the bald head who happened to pass by, and hummed lightly, "Take out the things." Thing? What? Li Bingqing and the bald man were both stunned. The bald man snorted with a fierce look in his eyes, "Boy, are you sick? I'll give you one more chance." Chu Yi's sharp-edged mouth curled up slightly, and he shouted slowly, "Hand over your things, and get out. Boy, I advise you to mind your own business." When the bald man saw that their plan had been discovered, he simply stopped pretending and said with a fierce look in his eyes, "Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Threaten? How dare you threaten me? Chu Yi sneered, "It seems that there are people who don't want to drink when they are toasted. Asshole, you're looking for death." The bald man shouted angrily and punched Chu Yi in the face without saying a word. R. Beside her, Li Bingqing became more and more confused the more she looked. She was so frightened by the bald man's ferocious look that she screamed and hid behind Chu Yi. Snap. A crisp sound was heard. This time, Li Bingqing and Baldy were stunned again. Meanwhile, Chu Yi calmly reached out and grasped the bald man's fist, exerting a little force at the same time. R. The bald man screamed and his face changed completely. How come this guy is so awesome? The bald man instantly realized that Chu Yi could crush him in both speed and strength. A wise man never suffers a loss in front of him. Thinking of this, the bald man gritted his teeth and took out his wallet. "Go away, and don't let me see you again next time." Chu Yi didn't want to get into trouble with the bald man. "Okay, kid, just wait for me. If you dare to cut off our brother's financial resources, I will never let you go." The bald man left a harsh remark and turned and ran away. This. Li Bingqing was smart and quick-witted. She looked at the wallet in Chu Yi's hand and realized that what had just happened was not an accident at all. The yellow-haired guy and the bald guy are in the same group. I really don't know how to thank you. Li Bingqing took the wallet from Chu Yi and was very grateful. If you want to say thank you, I haven't eaten yet, why don't we have a meal together? Chu Yi thought that since he came to see Li Bingqing this time, they could have a meal together and chat. Is this possible? Li Bingqing's pretty face froze, and a hint of smile flashed in her eyes. Is it so old-fashioned? Well. Chu Yi felt helpless. It seems that this beautiful lady misunderstood that I was going to pursue her. Bite. At this time, a voice came from the system. Favorability from Li Bingqing +50, +30, +20. Favorability? Chu Yi smiled. If that's the case, things will be easy. Some other time. Li Bingqing's pretty face flushed slightly. I have something to do today. She left Chu Yi's phone number and turned to head towards Qingye Hotel. At the same time. Bite. The system's voice said again, Li Bingqing's favorability, +50, +30, +20. 2 favors. Chu Yi understood. Have dinner with yourself some other day? It seems that this beautiful lady is still a little reserved. But since I haven't eaten yet, let's go to Aober Hotel to eat. Who knows, maybe I can chat with Li Bingqing about something. That way, your plan can be implemented quickly. He actually followed. When Chu Yi entered Qingye Hotel, Li Bingqing, who had just entered, couldn't help but frown. Is this a preparation for a persistent pursuit? Li Bingqing didn't know that Chu Yi really came here to eat. She thought Chu Yi was going to pester her like other men, and suddenly felt a little dissatisfied. Chapter 22 seems like there was a misunderstanding. Inside the Aober Hotel. Wow, so handsome. That young man is so handsome. He's even more handsome than a celebrity. Look at his eyes, I feel like I'm falling in love with him. Although Chu Yi has changed his appearance, his face now looks less immature and more mature. So he attracted a lot of people's attention as soon as he stepped into their hotel. Especially some beauties with great figures. My heart is already boiling with emotion. Bite. Admiration from Zhongnan, +30, 15, +10. Joy from Sun Xiaoyun, +30, 15, +10. Admiration from Yarngla, +40, 20, +10. Admiration from Wang Jiao, +60, 40, +10. From. The light spots came towards Chu Yi like fireflies. At the same time, the emotional value of the rich man's panel is constantly changing. Sometimes being handsome is also a kind of asset. Chu Yi sighed in his heart and went to the front desk. Far away. The corners of Li Bingqing's sexy lips curled up slightly, and she looked a little proud. Chu Yi had said before that he would invite her to dinner. Maybe that handsome guy's purpose is not just to eat. Li Bingqing's heart trembled slightly. Chu Yi has arrived at the front desk. Your name is Sun Xiaoyun. Chu Yi's calm smile stunned the beautiful lady at the front desk. She asked in surprise, do you know me? No. Of course Chu Yi didn't know him. He remembered that a spot of light had floated towards him from above Sun Xiaoyun's head. I want the highest spot in the sky garden on the rooftop of your hotel. Chu Yi knew that there was no shortage of 5-star hotels in the state capital. The most famous thing about Aober Hotel is the sky garden on the roof. From there you can overlook the entire state capital. And the location he wanted was the best location in the entire sky garden. Sir, I'm so sorry, our sky garden requires a VIP gold card and advance reservation. Do you have a VIP gold card? Sun Xiaoyun felt a little regretful. As soon as she heard Chu Yi's words, she knew that he didn't have a VIP gold card. In fact, she really wanted to give Chu Yi a position. I even wanted to have a candlelight dinner with Chu Yi. That's awesome. After all, Chu Yi's face is so charming. It made her heart beat fast. VIP gold card. Chu Yi raised his eyebrows. Just kidding. How could the eldest son of Chujian Group not have a gold card here? Not to mention here. All high-end hotels in the entire state capital have Chu Yi. Hold on. Chu Yi calmly reached into his pocket. But when he was halfway through, his hand stopped. He suddenly remembered a question. I have changed my appearance now, so I can no longer use my previous VIP card. Otherwise, the identity will be exposed and the disguise will lose its meaning. Sir, if you forgot to bring your card, you can dine at other locations in our hotel. Sun Xiaoyun estimated that Chu Yi didn't have a VIP gold card at all. He even reached into his pocket on purpose to ease the embarrassment. So Sun Xiaoyun said sympathetically, the service and dishes in other locations of our hotel are the same. Or you can provide your card number. Is he really here to eat? In the distance, Li Bingqing frowned slightly, walked over hurriedly, and said, this gentleman is my friend. Manager. Sun Xiaoyun's pretty face was startled. I didn't expect Chu Yi to be Li Bingqing's friend. Just say I arranged it and give him a seat in the Sky Garden restaurant. As soon as Li Bingqing opened her mouth, Chu Yi waved his hand and said, no need. No. Li Bingqing frowned even more tightly. He actually refused. Could it be that he just wanted to attract my attention? Is the goal achieved now? I'll be coming here often anyway, so I might as well get one. Chu Yi's words made Li Bingqing's heart tremble and her pretty face flushed slightly. Did she seem to have misunderstood? The cards we have here are divided into ordinary cards, silver cards, gold cards, black cards, and diamond cards. Sun Xiaoyun hurriedly said, the ordinary card membership card is recharged with 100,000. Recharge the silver card by 500,000 yuan. Gold card top-up of 5 million. Black card top-up of 10 million. Diamond card. Chu Yi saw that Sun Xiaoyun had stopped talking and couldn't help but ask, why don't you talk anymore? Sir, we need to top up 50 million for diamond cards here. Obviously, Sun Xiaoyun had no hope that Chu Yi would recharge his diamond card. Who would recharge 50 million just to have a meal? Isn't that sick? Even the young masters in the provincial capital don't have such generosity. At most, they get a gold card and bring girls here to show off. Then make one. Chu Yi knew that the food at Qingye Hotel was good, and he would definitely come here often in the future. Apply for a card. Sun Xiaoyun and Li Bingqing were not surprised this time. They felt that although Chu Yi was very handsome and well dressed, he looked like the young master of a wealthy family. However, such people generally do not have much money. Many times they recharge and apply for cards just to show off. The highest you can do is to top up 5 million and get a gold card. Many people even top up 100,000 yuan to get an ordinary card. Recharge 50 million. 50 million. Chu Yi's words made Li Bingqing's legs tremble slightly and she felt a little dizzy. Sun Xiaoyun's pretty face had turned red and her breathing had become rapid. Chu Yi actually wants to spend 50 million to apply for a card. You should know that there are only 3 people in the entire Aober Hotel who have diamond cards. Bite. 50 million has been deposited into the company's account. When the machine at the front desk sounded the arrival of the money, the whole hall was in an uproar. What? 50 million? No. He actually topped up 50 million. I've seen rich people, but I've never seen anyone as rich as this. Yeah, a recharge of 50 million at once. Whose young master is this? The crowd watching was suddenly in an uproar. Bite. Ding ding. At the same time. Admiration from Zhongnan, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Sun Xiaoyun, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Yarnla, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Wang Jiao, plus 100, 80, plus 50. Jealousy from Sun Wei, plus 80, plus 50, plus 30. Jealousy from Hu Luwei, plus 80, plus 50, plus 30. Jealousy from Shadale. Countless starlight slowly moved towards Chu Yi from above everyone's heads. I wipe. Is there anyone who is jealous of me for just charging a certain amount? Why? It turns out that this is a world where money speaks. Being rich and handsome can easily lead to jealousy. Chu Yi didn't expect that he could gain a wave of emotional value by applying for the card, and this wave of emotional value was more turbulent than the previous one. You. Li Bingqing was so surprised that she was speechless. In her mind, Chu Yi had completely established his image as a tall, rich and handsome man. However, this time she completely underestimated Chu Yi. Chu Yi is not just tall, rich and handsome now, he is also a wealthy and successful man. I said I really am here to eat, I wonder if Mr. Li can go up with me. Chu Yi's deep eyes made Li Bingqing's heart tremble, and she became more and more curious about Chu Yi's identity. Could he be the rich second generation of that big family? Impossible. She was very familiar with the state capital, and there was no young Master Chu Yi there. No, it should be said that there is no young Master Chu Yi after he disguised himself. Chapter 23. Young Master Jing, doesn't he care about his face anymore? Aober Hotel. Top floor, Sky Garden. Entering here is like entering a real garden. The flowers are in full bloom and the trees are shady. Moreover, these flowers and trees are all precious species. The key is that the quality of the beautiful waiters here is also good. Each figure is hot and attractive. It makes people more pleasing to the eye. After Chu Yi came in, a faint vanilla fragrance wafted over, making people feel very comfortable. It really deserves to be the best 5-star hotel in the state capital. Mr. Jiang, you need to choose a location now. Before, Chu Yi told her that his last name was Jiang. Li Bingqing has adjusted her mindset. She knew that she had underestimated the young man named Jiang in front of her. Right there. Chu Yi pointed to the highest point of the garden. The entire Sky Garden rises in a stepped manner. Sitting here, you can overlook the beautiful scenery of the state capital. And the location Chu Yi pointed to was the best location in the entire Sky Garden. Wait. At this time, an arrogant voice came from behind. That place belongs to this young master. This voice seems a little familiar. Chu Yi raised his eyebrows. The three of them turned their heads at the same time and saw three figures. The leader was a young man in a suit, with greasy hair and powdered face, looking a little weak. Master Zheng. It turned out to be him. Many people in the garden restaurant looked at the young man with interest. Zheng Xiaofei. This guy is not ordinary. The young master of the Zheng family, a second-class wealthy family in the state capital. The main thing is that this guy is not good at anything but spending money. The point is that his money is mainly spent on women. As expected. Next to Zheng Xiaofei was a woman wearing a miniskirt, with fair skin and beautiful breasts. It was Lulu, the internet celebrity who has become famous in the state capital recently. Chu Yi didn't care about the two of them. But when he saw the last person, he smiled. It turned out to be an acquaintance. Chu Shen. This guy actually came too. It's normal if you think about it carefully. Chu Sheng's mother Jing Yumei is Zheng Xiaofei's aunt. These two guys are cousins. It's normal for Zheng Xiaofei to involve him in whatever he does. It's very obvious. Zheng Xiaofei wanted to bring Lulu out to spend some money and then take her away. What a narrow road the enemies meet. Chu Yixing narrowed his eyes slightly, and a flash of coldness passed by. Recently, the Zheng family has not secretly targeted the Chujian group. In that case, Chu Yi pointed to the highest point in the Sky Garden and said to Zheng Xiaofei, I want that place. Stranger, I don't know who you are, but I advise you not to compete with me for it. Zheng Xiaofei looked unhappy, because even if you rob it, you can't rob it from me, and you have to pay a price, do you understand? Straw bag. He is indeed a straw bag. The people around listened to Zheng Xiaofei's words and shook their heads helplessly. This guy has been getting more and more arrogant recently. That position is not something that ordinary people can sit in. At least they have to be at the black card level. Li Bingqing did not stop Chu Yi when he pointed to that location just now. What does this mean? Chu Yi is at least at the black card level. How dare Zheng Xiaofei speak harshly to such a person? You are very confident. Chu Yi smiled, and it was obvious that Zheng Xiaofei did not recognize him. Of course, because that place is what I prepared for Miss Lulu. Zheng Xiaofei had a proud look on his face as he looked at the hot and attractive beauty beside him. This time he just wanted to show off in front of Lulu and then take her down. For Miss Lulu. When Chu Yi looked at Lulu. Bite. Admiration from Lulu, plus 60, plus 30, plus 10. The corners of Chu Yi's angular lips curled up slightly. This Zheng Xiaofei is really a fool. He believed that if he invited Lulu now, there is a great possibility that she will be taken away from Zheng Xiaofei. Didn't you listen to what my cousin said? At this time, Chu Xing next to him also became arrogant. Why don't you get out of our way? Idiot. Wasn't he the beating I gave you at home that day enough? Chu Yi glanced at Chu Xing with cold eyes. You. Suddenly, Chu Xing didn't dare to say a word. He felt a chill on his back from Chu Yi's cold look just now. This feels so familiar. Stranger, I have one last piece of advice for you. Take care of yourself and get out of my way. In order to show off in front of Lulu, Jing Xiaofei was very confident. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Excuse me, Mr. Zheng, that position belongs to Mr. Jiang. Beside, Li Bingqing hurriedly reminded, how about you change seats? What do you want to change? Who do you think you are to ask this young master to change places? Zheng Xiaofei flew into a rage, pointing at Li Bingqing and cursing. He wants to save face, but does that mean I, young master Zheng, don't want to save face? You? Li Bingqing's pretty face looked a little ugly. In fact, she did this for Zheng Xiaofei's own good. She knew that Zheng Xiaofei had a gold card and was not eligible to sit in that seat. And Chu Yi? This rich man just recharged 50 million, but he didn't even blink an eye. I just didn't expect Zheng Xiaofei to be so arrogant. I'll do it. Chu Yi spoke in a gentle voice and pulled Li Bingqing behind him. This. Li Bingqing's heart trembled. When Chu Yi held her hand just now, she didn't feel disgusted. Bite. Admiration from Lulu, plus 60, plus 30, plus 10. Just then a voice sounded in Chu Yi's mind. What's going on? Chu Yi was speechless. He couldn't quite tell whether Lulu simply admired him or hated Zheng Xiaofei. You coming? Country bumpkin, are you here to eat farts? Zheng Xiaofei sneered, his attitude extremely arrogant. I have reserved that seat, how about we make a bet? What's the stakes? Chu Yixing narrowed his eyes slightly, with a hint of teasing. Zheng Xiaofei is indeed a fool. He actually dug a hole for himself. My requirements are not high. If you lose, just kneel down and kowtow to me. Zheng Xiaofei adjusted his tie confidently and continued, respectfully say, Master Zheng, I was wrong, and I will forgive you. This is really floating up to the sky. Chu Yi shook his head slowly, then pointed outside the window and said, how about this, the loser jumps down from here. What? Is this a gamble of life? The whole garden was in an uproar. Mr. Jiang. Li Bingqing became a little anxious. What she was worried about was not Chu Yi, but that idiot Zheng Xiaofei. If Zheng Xiaofei really died here, Qingye Hotel would be in big trouble. So cruel. Zheng Xiaofei was a little confused. Chu Sheng, who was standing next to him, was even more frightened when he heard this. Damn it. If you lose, jump down from here. Do you know how high this is? If you jump down, you will fall so badly that even your own mother won't be able to recognize you. It seems that you don't dare. You are such a fool and you want to imitate others to show off. How about this, if you lose, you don't have to jump from here. Chu Yi slowly sat down on a chair next to him, looking at Zheng Xiaofei's confused look, his mouth curled up slightly, with a hint of amusement. If you lose, kneel down and say you are a pig, how about that? Chu Yi knew very well in his mind that with a diamond card in hand, he was invincible. However, it is obvious that Zheng Xiaofei does not think so. Chapter 24, Stranger. If you lose, kneel down and call yourself a pig. Are you insulting me? Zheng Xiaofei's face gradually became gloomy. The people around were excited. They understood. Chu Yi is planning to trick young Master Zheng. If Zheng Xiaofei really knelt down, it would be a lot of fun. He not only lost face for himself, but also for the Zheng family behind him. Mr. Jiang, let's forget it. Li Bingqing's pretty face looked embarrassed. Master Zheng is our VIP guest here. How expensive is VIP? Chu Yi's expression was full of disdain. A straw bag is a VIP, he said he wanted to make a bet, but now he doesn't dare to do it. The crowd looked upset when they heard what the two people said. The beautiful Li Bingqing is indeed extraordinary. She is not only pretty but also very smart. On the surface, she was helping Zheng Xiaofei out of trouble, but in fact, she was secretly adding fuel to the fire and trying to trap Zheng Xiaofei to death. Really? Zheng Xiaofei became furious after hearing what the two said. Country bumpkin, you are unlucky to run into me today. Because today I brought a black card. After Zheng Xiaofei finished speaking, he took out a black card from his pocket and laughed arrogantly. He went to great lengths to win over Lulu today and even got his father's black card. It's a black card. It's actually a black card. This idiot actually got a black card. I never thought that this idiot would become smart sometimes. The handsome guy next to Li Bingqing looks like he's in danger. The crowd was shocked, and they looked at Chu Yi with some worry, which made Zheng Xiaofei look very proud. You are very confident. There was a hint of teasing on Chu Yi's face. Country bumpkin, do you know what a black card means? Jing Xiaofei's expression became more arrogant, and he looked at Li Bingqing. As far as I know, there are not many black cards in the entire Qingye Hotel, right? Mr. Jing is right. Li Bingqing had a blank expression on her face, but she was sighing in her heart. Not only is this guy a complete idiot, but he also has very bad ideas. Under normal circumstances, he would be invincible with the black card. But today he provoked a wealthy man who spent 50 million on a card without blinking an eye, a Krypton gold wealthy man. Compared with Chu Yi, Jing Xiaofei is not even a younger brother, but a grandson. Did you hear that? I, Jing Xiaofei, just want to ask you if you heard it. Jing Xiaofei didn't know what Li Bingqing was thinking. He boasted to everyone with a smug look on his face as if he had won the game, and above the black card is the diamond card. As far as I know, there are 3 diamond cards in the entire Qingye Hotel. There is no way they are in your hands. So stranger, admit defeat. Give up? Chu Yi took out the diamond card he had just applied for from his pocket with a calm look on his face, and said helplessly, what a coincidence, there are now 4 diamond cards in Qingye Hotel. What? How is this possible? Zheng Xiaofei was stunned for a moment. He thought Chu Yi was just an ordinary gold card. Even if it was a black card, he would not be afraid unless it was one of the young masters from the top families in the state capital. But I didn't expect that Chu Yi would give me a diamond card. The card was full of bright stars, shining like diamonds. What does this indicate? Damn, it's a symbol of strength. Even his father only has a black card at a Ober Hotel. Diamond card. It's a diamond card. Oh my god, it's the 4th diamond card. In an instant, the whole garden was in a frenzy. This was the first time they saw the diamond card of a Ober Hotel. This is a super rich man. Bite. Admiration from Lulu, plus 100, plus 50, plus 30. Chu Yi was completely speechless. He was now very sure that he could take Lulu away from Jing Xiaofei without any effort. And it doesn't cost any money. Who is that person? Not only is he handsome, he's also rich. Oh, I feel like I'm falling in love with him. Many of the beauties who were brought here have already been interested. They want to leave their contact information and then develop the relationship further. At the same time, in Chu Yi's mind, bite. Voices rang out. Admiration from Liu Feier, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Favorability from Wang Yanan, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Zhang Pingping, plus 50, plus 30, plus 20. Admiration from Sun Hui, plus 80, plus 50, plus 30. From. Bursts of starlight came towards Chu Yi from above the heads of the crowd in the distance. Another wave of emotional value has been harvested. Chu Yi was looking forward to the hidden functions of the system. However, he did not forget Jing Xiaofei, and smiled elegantly. Jing Daxiao, now you should kneel down and say that you are a pig, right? Stranger, I advise you not to be too arrogant, because this is the state capital. Jing Xiaofei's face turned ashen with anger. He actually lost, and lost so easily. So you don't want to kneel anymore? Chu Yi raised his eyebrows, and a hint of amusement appeared at the corners of his mouth, which was slowly turning cold. This was the result he had guessed long ago. There was no way Jing Xiaofei would kneel down obediently. Stranger, please leave your name if you can. Jing Xiaofei gritted his teeth and snorted, if you want me to kneel down, let's see if you can afford to provoke the Jing family. Leave your name. Everyone couldn't help but shake their heads. This guy is really a fool. Can't he see that Li Bingqing is with Chu Yi? Can that be an ordinary person? Given Li Bingqing's personality, would she accompany ordinary people? Besides, Chu Yi gave me a diamond card right away. His father only has a black card. Can't you tell which is higher and which is lower? You don't deserve to know my name. Chu Yi glanced at Jing Xiaofei with contempt. Chu Yi was too lazy to take action against a fool like Jing Xiaofei. What he didn't want to give up was the opportunity to humiliate the Jing family at the same time. Who is so arrogant that he wants Master Jing to kneel down? Suddenly, a voice was heard. A man with thinning hair and a beer belly walked in. Liang Quan. Vice President Liang. Everyone was shocked. There was a hint of pride in Jing Xiaofei's eyes. Liang Quan is the vice president of Qingye Hotel. Who are you? Liang Quan looked at Chu Yi with an unfriendly tone. He knew in his heart that Chu Yi was brought here by Li Bingqing, and was obviously Li Bingqing's man, and had nothing to do with him. The Jing family is his important client. Jing Shaofei was slapped in the face here. How can he face Jing Cheng in the future? I asked this idiot to kneel down. Do you have any objection? Chu Yixing narrowed his eyes slightly, and a flash of coldness passed by. The opinions are huge. Liang Quan snorted coldly. You dare to ask young Master Jing to kneel down? I think you really don't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. Does that mean you're going to stand up for this idiot? Chu Yi pointed casually, and Jing Shaofei was so angry that he almost exploded. Chu Yi kept calling people idiots and idiots all the time. Where would the face of young Master Jing be? So what? Liang Quan's beer belly bulged slightly and he looked quite proud. This is his territory. Can Chu Yi really turn the tables? If so. Chu Yi hesitated for a moment, and an elegant smile appeared on his handsome face. Then you kneel down with him. Chapter 25. This time it gets big. Kneel down together? Chu Yi's words caused an uproar in the entire garden. Just so fucking tough. This is a case of a strong dragon suppressing a local snake. Many people looked at Chu Yi excitedly. They wanted to know how he made Liang Quan kneel down in Liang Quan's territory. I want to see how you make me kneel down. Liang Quan adjusted his tie with a proud look on his face and said, I forgot to remind you, I'm Liang Quan, the vice president here, and Li Bingqing beside you is also under my charge. Mr. Jiang. Li Bingqing realized the seriousness of the situation. Just as she was about to speak, she was stopped by Chu Yi, who said, I'm sorry too. I'm really not interested in knowing who you are. You? Liang Quan was so angry at Chu Yi's words that his beer belly grew bigger. But since you've already spoken, I'll tell you one thing. Chu Yi said in a cold tone, the next moment you will no longer be the vice president here. What do you mean? Liang Quan frowned. I mean I'm going to buy this hotel. Wow. What? What did this kid say? He's actually going to buy this hotel? There was excitement on everyone's face. This is a big deal. They wanted to see if what Chu Yi said was true. Are you crazy? Li Bingqing felt a little disappointed. She felt that Chu Yi was very immature to say such angry words. You can contact your boss, right? Chu Yi looked at Li Bingqing. Call now and tell them that I am planning to acquire Qingye Hotel. You are too impulsive. Li Bingqing was completely disappointed. She felt that Chu Yi was too childish and it was not worth it just for a moment of pride. You have to know that the Yaober Hotel alone is worth 700 million, not to mention other things. Har har. Har 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 har. At this time, Liang Quan suddenly laughed and said, You don't need Li Bingqing to contact me, I can do it for you. You? Li Bingqing wanted to stop Liang Quan, but found that Liang Quan had already dialed the number. This guy wants to trick Chu Yi. Li Bingqing's face gradually turned cold, while Liang Quan's expression became extremely humble. Liang Quan, what's the matter? A pleasant voice came from the other end of the phone. Boss Luan, someone wants to acquire Qingye Hotel. What? The sound gradually died down over there. Liang Quan waited with his phone in hand, looking respectful. The whole garden gradually became quiet. Many people know that the boss of Aober Hotel is no ordinary person. It is said that he has a strong background and his identity is very mysterious. I don't know if I will have the chance to meet her this time. Is this guy serious? Li Bingqing's pretty face became solemn. From the beginning to the end, Chu Yi gave her the feeling of being too confident. A moment later. Please put that person on the phone. Yes. Liang Quan handed the phone to Chu Yi with a gloating look on his face. I want to buy the Yaober Hotel. You name the price. Chu Yi's voice was somewhat leisurely and direct. This made many people unbelievable. It seemed like what he wanted to buy was not a 5-star hotel but something worth $5. Asking price? Obviously, the other party did not expect Chu Yi to be so direct. After a slight pause, the woman's pleasant voice came again, 1 billion. Card number. Although Chu Yi only said 2 words, everyone was completely upset. Do you really want to buy it? Fuck. No. What do I see? What a rich guy. This guy is really a rich guy. Is there anyone who buys things this way? Doesn't he know how to bargain? Is there really still money in his family? The whole garden was in a frenzy. Are you sure you want to buy it? The person on the other end of the phone couldn't believe it. It was obvious that the woman over there didn't expect Chu Yi to not even bargain. This is no longer direct. She wanted to say, where the hell did this rich guy come from? The man on the other end hesitated for a moment and asked, will you consider it again? Card number. Chu Yi responded with the same 2 words. Mr. Jiang, you can actually bargain for the price. Beside him, Li Bingqing hesitated for a moment and finally spoke. If Chu Yi really acquires Qingye Hotel, then Chu Yi will be her boss in the future. If she didn't remind him at this time, she was afraid that Chu Yi would make things difficult for her later. Wait a moment. This time, the other party did not hesitate and directly sent the card number to Chu Yi's mobile phone. Byte. 1 billion has arrived in my bank account. Mr. Jiang, congratulations, Qingye Hotel is now yours. I'll have someone take care of the follow-up matters. Actually, I'm still very curious about you, but I'm not in the state capital right now, otherwise I would like to meet you. I'm looking forward to meeting you, too. Chu Yi also wanted to know more about the mysterious woman behind Qingye Hotel. Oh my god, what did I see? What do you think I saw? I saw a fucking wealthy man who spent a lot of money. There are still people doing business like this. Is this what the rich man does as he pleases? Sure enough, my vision is still small. Chu Yi's calm voice not only made the woman on the other end of the phone more curious about him, but also made everyone present curious. People think that Mr. Jiang spending 1 billion to buy the Aober Hotel is like an ordinary person spending a few dollars to buy a small toy. Many people stood up and applauded. They witnessed the birth of the new owner of Aober Hotel with their own eyes. In fact, they didn't know that Chu Yi had 10 billion, and after spending 1 billion, he still had 9 billion left. This is actually true. At this moment, Li Bingqing was completely out of control. This handsome but slightly unbelievable man is her new boss. Chu Yi wanted to treat her to a meal before, but she refused. Am I a pig brain? Li Bingqing looked at Jing Xiaofei and Liang Quan beside him with great regret, and sneered in his heart, 2 idiots. At this time, Jing Xiaofei was completely confused. Chu Yi really spent 1 billion to buy the entire hotel. He actually wanted to compete with Chu Yi for the best seat in the hotel. How to fight now? The whole hotel belongs to someone else. Cold sweat had already begun to appear on Liang Quan's forehead. He felt dizzy. What did he just do? He helped Jing Xiaofei fight against his new boss. The key point is that his new boss was forced out by a phone call from him. Liang Quan started to shiver all over as he thought about it. He knew he was finished. Chu Yi will not let him go. Thank you all for coming. Today is the day I acquire the Qingye Hotel. All your expenses will be free. I hope you will give me, Jiang, this honor. Chu Yi had a faint smile on his face. He had already decided that his identity as Mr. Jiang must be high profile. Only by being high profile can we attract the attention of Chu Jiang Group's opponents. Boom. Chu Yi's words made the whole hotel boil again. What I said. No, this guy is pretending to be invincible. Anyone who gives money is not giving Chu Yi face. This is totally how a super rich person behaves. Chapter 26 Women are a little interesting. Mr. Jiang is really generous. We must give Mr. Jiang face. Yes, yes, yes. Even if we don't give face to anyone else, we must give face to Mr. Jiang. Congratulations Mr. Jiang on becoming the owner of Qingye Hotel. Mr. Jiang is such a generous person. Many people's eyes changed when they looked at Chu Yi, and they nodded one after another to express their goodwill. They knew in their hearts that the young man in front of them was extraordinary. At the same time, Byte. Admiration from Zhu Fei, plus 80, 40, plus 20. Admiration from Wu Lian, plus 60, 40, plus 10. Kindness from Su Long, plus 60, 30, plus 10. Admiration from Wang Hui, plus 50, 20, plus 10. From. In the garden, the stars were shining, and countless emotional values were coming towards Chu Yi. It enveloped him in an instant. Byte. Admiration from Lulu, plus 100, 50, plus 20. Another voice came. Chu Yi turned his head to look at Lulu, and found that her fiery body was trembling slightly, and there was a hint of charm in her alluring eyes. The meaning is already very clear. Chu Yi narrowed his eyes slightly, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He was now very sure that with his current identity as the owner of Qingye Hotel, he could easily take Lulu away from Jing Xiaofei. He didn't even have to say anything, just a look and Lulu would come to him obediently. But now he is not interested in women like Lulu at all. His story with Jing Xiaofei isn't over yet. When Chu Yi looked at Jing Xiaofei, many people showed an expression of gloating on their faces. They knew that Chu Yi was going to settle the score later. Jing Xiaofei is in trouble. Unfortunately, now I'm the boss here. Chu Yi walked towards Jing Xiaofei and said, "Do you still want to fight with me now?" "I lost." Jing Xiaofei couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. How to fight? He is just the young master of the Jing family. Even his father wasn't so generous. What does he have to fight for? Since you lost, why don't you kneel down and say you are a pig? Chu Yi shouted loudly, scaring Jing Xiaofei so much that he trembled all over and couldn't help but take a few steps back. Are you really that excessive? Jing Xiaofei clenched his fist angrily and shouted, "I am the young master of the Jing family." That's right. Chu Yi nodded gently, "If you hadn't reminded me, I would have forgotten. From now on, no one from the Jing family will be allowed to enter here." What? Are the Jing family prevented from entering here? There was an uproar among the crowd. This Mr. Jiang actually wants to target the Jing family. The atmosphere in the whole garden became solemn. That's a second-rate noble family in the state capital. What is the basis for this Mr. Jiang? Many people find Chu Yi increasingly mysterious. At least it should be of considerable origin. Jiang, how dare you target my Jing family? Jing Xiaofei's face suddenly turned furious. The Jing family has never been targeted like this before. No, this is no longer targeted. This is contempt and an insult. It seems that you still haven't put yourself in the right position. Chu Yi looked at Jing Xiaofei and shook his head slowly. You should kneel down and apologize to me, and admit that you are a pig. I am the young master of the Jing family. Jing Xiaofei was a little flustered. Lulu is still here. Isn't it too embarrassing for him to kneel down? Using the Jing family to pressure me. Chu Yi's expression was full of disdain. I think without the aura of the young master of the Jing family, you are really worse than a pig. Why are you betting with me? I can't ask you to kneel down, go away. You? Jing Xiaofei was so angry that his hair was about to explode. What do you mean by you? You have to understand one thing. You are really worse than a pig. Chu Yi glanced at the furious Jing Xiaofei and said disdainfully, I don't let you kneel down not because I'm afraid of your Jing family, but because I'm afraid you'll dirty my floor, understand? Jing Xiaofei was so angry that he was about to explode. Shame. What a shame. He, the young master of the Jing family, is actually worse than a pig. Remember, from now on, the Jing family is not allowed to enter Qingye Hotel. Chu Yi was too lazy to say any more words to Jing Xiaofei, and sat down elegantly on a chair next to him again. Mr. Jiang, your coffee. Li Bingqing had already placed a cup of coffee next to his hand. This woman is quite interesting. Chu Yi slowly looked towards Li Bingqing. Mr. Jiang, can you please leave me your contact information? At this time, Lulu, who had been silent, looked at Chu Yi charmingly. I think we can have a deeper discussion in the future. How to go deeper? In the way Mr. Jiang wants to go deeper. Lulu blinked her long eyelashes gently, and her eyes became more charming. Chu Yi smiled. It turned out to be just as he had guessed. Now he can take Lulu away in front of Jing Xiaofei, and in the most intimate way. You guys. At the door, Jing Xiaofei, who was about to leave, suddenly felt dizzy. He had been chasing Lulu for such a long time and spent a lot of money but still couldn't win her over. Lulu actually took the initiative to show her goodwill to Chu Yi. No, this is not a gesture of goodwill, it's fucking seduction. This wave of losses is huge. Big loss. Chu Yi smiled indifferently without looking at Lulu again. Instead, he took a sip of coffee and slowly looked at Liang Quan. Lulu understood instantly that Chu Yi looked down on her. Finished. Barbecue. Liang Quan's back was soaked with cold sweat, and the sweat on his forehead was dripping down his cheeks. He knew that he had gotten into big trouble this time and had offended someone he shouldn't have. Vice President Liang, you are so arrogant, are you going to kick me out of here? Mr. Jiang. Liang Quan knelt down in front of Chu Yi without saying anything and said, I was wrong. I was blind and offended you. Since you said you have no vision, then dig it out. What? Liang Quan was completely confused. Is it possible? Puff. Beside her, Li Bingqing covered her mouth and laughed secretly. A smile appeared on that cold face, making her look even more charming and attractive. Boss Jiang, I was really wrong. Please forgive me this time. Liang Quan knelt on the ground and begged for mercy with a very sincere attitude. He knew very well in his heart that he had made a lot of money from the Auber Hotel in the past few years. The key to the problem is his position as deputy manager, because many people in the state capital have to give him some face for this position. He would be nothing if he left Auber Hotel. Roll. Before Liang Quan could finish his words, Chu Yi kicked him in the chest. R. Liang Quan screamed and fell on his back, with a shoe print on his snow-white shirt. But Liang Quan ignored it. He hurriedly knelt in front of Chu Yi again and begged for mercy. Boss Jiang, I was really wrong. I will never dare to do it again. Do you think you can stay here any longer when things have come to this? Chu Yi snorted with cold eyes. I wanted to give you a dignified way to leave. Since you don't want to leave dignifiedly, I can only ask someone to drive you away. Chapter 27, Extremely Insulting. No. Don't, Mr. Jiang, I was wrong. I was really wrong. When Liang Quan heard that Chu Yi wanted to drive him away, he didn't care about anything else and kowtowed harder and harder to beg for mercy. Please give me another chance. I really have an 80-year-old mother and a 3-year-old wife and child to support. Shameless thing. Chu Yi glanced at Liang Quan coldly, then asked Li Bingqing to call the security guard. No, don't do that, Mr. Jiang. Please, give me another chance. I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. When Liang Quan was dragged outside by the security guards like a dog, he was still begging for mercy in a low voice. However, in the end, his voice gradually disappeared. Can we eat together now? Chu Yi stood up and elegantly adjusted the buttons of his suit, then looked at Li Bingqing with a faint smile. The beautiful woman in front of him is the real purpose of his visit this time. As for buying the hotel, it was just a coincidence. Let's have dinner together. Li Bingqing felt a little nervous and didn't dare to look directly into Chu Yi's eyes. She vaguely felt that what happened today was not accidental. Chu Yi came here just for her. What does he want to do? Pursue yourself. Li Bingqing was a little excited. But then he shook his head and denied it. There must be a lot of women around someone like Chu Yi. Lulu's meaning just now was very clear. As long as Chu Yi nods, Lulu will definitely offer herself to him. But Chu Yi actually refused. Li Bingqing thought about it, and a glimmer of hope ignited in her heart. What if he really wanted to pursue her? Let's go. With an elegant smile on his face, Chu Yi turned and headed towards the highest point of the garden. That's where he should sit. Okay. Li Bingqing nodded slightly and followed Chu Yi. Wow. Money is a good thing indeed. Yes, the methods of the super rich are extraordinary. Many people looked at Chu Yi with envy, as many of those present were wealthy. However, they felt that they were still far behind Chu Yi. At least today Chu Yi has a great chance to win over the cold goddess Li Bingqing. The highest point of the garden. A cluster of flowers. Chu Yi calmly glanced at the scenery outside the window, then looked at Li Bingqing standing in front of him and said with a smile, "You are mine now." Are? Li Bingqing's pretty face turned red. Is it okay to be so direct? Well. Wrong. Chu Yi felt helpless. Another way to put it is, you will be mine from now on. You? Li Bingqing's pretty face became more and more red. Isn't this what it means? Slip of the tongue, slip of the tongue. Chu Yi felt a bit overwhelmed. I have to say that Li Bing has fair skin, beautiful looks and a hot and attractive body. Especially the cold temperament on her face makes people want to conquer her. Forget it, let's eat first. Chu Yi waved his hand, motioning Li Bingqing to sit down, and then said, "We'll talk in detail after dinner." How detailed should it be? Li Bingqing suddenly felt uneasy sitting there. An hour later. Inside the hotel's most luxurious office. Chu Yi stood in front of the window and looked at the scenery of the state capital. A smile appeared on his face. Mr. Jiang, what do you need me to do? Beside him, Li Bingqing was somewhat puzzled. What she expected did not happen. Isn't he Mr. Jiang that kind of person? I will be setting up a new company from now on. Chu Yi put away his smile and his face turned serious. And you are the person in charge of this company. After the company is established, I will first inject 9 billion into the company. You will be responsible for all personnel and operations, and the main task of this company is to keep an eye on the Chujian group. Li Bingqing frowned. What happened? Even a mysterious tycoon like Mr. Jiang has set his sights on the Chujian group. A moment later, after Li Bingqing left, Chu Yi excitedly opened the Shenhao system. Suddenly, a bright curtain of light appeared in front of him. The emotional value is 117 points. Chu Yi was a little excited and clicked on hide without hesitation. Bite. The system voice came, host, do you want to spend 100 godly points to open the hidden function? Yes. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the primary martial art, Thunder Palm. The system's voice came and the rich value on the rich panel became 17. The next column of hidden functions shows martial arts, Thunder Palm Basic Martial Arts Plus. Ding ding ding. A series of crisp sounds were heard, and finally the Shenhao panel turned into Super Rich System, 1. Level 5 Rich Man. Amount, 9 billion.009 billion. Sentiment value, 236. Super Rich Points, 17. Strength, 28. Chi and Blood, 5. Intelligence, 5. Speed, 20. Lottery. Inventory, Disguise Mask. Hide. Martial Arts, Thunder Palm Basic Martial Arts Plus. Introduction, attacking the enemy with your palm will bring a trace of thunder and lightning power. If you practice it to perfection, you can even release a divine thunder with one palm, which is very terrifying. Chu Yi became excited. It turned out to be a martial art. This kind of thing is not common nowadays. Although he knew that some big families now also had some martial arts. But overall this thing is still too rare, let alone a martial art of the level of Thunder Palm. If it weren't for the system, even if he was the young master of the Chujian group, his chances of obtaining martial arts of this level would be very slim. Boom. At this moment, a golden light flashed and rushed directly into Chu Yi's mind. Chu Yi's body trembled, and he felt as if a huge storm was spreading in his mind. Countless illusory figures slowly emerged in the storm. The figures move in different ways, have different shapes, and their postures keep changing. This is a move from the Thunder Palm. Chu Yi stood up excitedly and began to practice slowly following those illusory figures. After a short while, he mastered the Thunder Palm technique. The system is indeed a treasure. Chu Yi knew clearly in his heart that although Thunder Palm was an elementary martial art, it was not so easy to master. And because of the system, he doesn't need to practice at all, he just needs to be a rich man. Chu Yi moved excitedly again, and became more and more proficient in using the Thunder Palm. He felt that he could knock down 10 guys like Chu Sheng with one palm strike. The key is that Thunder Palm is still a basic martial art and can be upgraded. A 5th level wealthy man with 9 billion in funds, a disguise mask, and the martial art, Thunder Palm. This is everything the Shenhao system has. In fact, Chu Yi doesn't he have too many requirements for money now. Although this sentence sounds pretentious. But that's the truth. What he needs now is some super rich points. The most important thing is how to turn the amount in the system into super rich points. Thinking about it, he looked at the panel and saw that there were only 17 rich points left, and he couldn't help but feel a little pain in his heart. The points of this super rich man are consumed too quickly. What to do with the remaining 17 super rich points? Should it be added to Qi and blood or intelligence? Chu Yi was a little confused. He decided not to use the 17 rich points for now and would order them after he had thought it through. At the same time, what happened at Aober Hotel has spread throughout the state capital. The entire state capital was in an uproar. In a blink of an eye, he spent 1 billion to acquire the most luxurious Qingye hotel in the state capital. Who is the mysterious rich man Mr. Jiang? The key point is that he actually banned the Jing family from entering Qingye hotel. This action is not very harmful to the Jing family, but it is extremely insulting.